like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you'll have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to talk about a very interesting subject, as we do all the time, okay? We are going to talk about defective women. Yes, a concept that a lot of people still ain't figured out yet. We're going to talk about defective women, all right? Because, hey, it is what it is out there. It is what it is out there. All right, and before we get started, let me say shout out to every veteran out there. Today happens to be Veterans Day. I personally don't really celebrate holidays, but I do want to acknowledge all the veterans regardless, because, hey, where would we be without you guys? And that's just real talk. Where would we really be without you guys? So shout out to all the veterans out there. I heard it was Veterans Day. I don't really pay attention to holidays like that, but I heard it's Veterans Day. So shout out to all the veterans, because I ain't got nothing but love and respect for you. And that's just real talk. Shout out to all the veterans out there, you know. And I hope you enjoy your day. And I hope you actually take some time out to go get some free stuff, y'all. You done served the country. You done did your thing. You became a veteran. They got little things out there here and there on certain days. Man, go out there and get you some free stuff. Real talk, y'all. You know, go get you a free meal or Man, ain't nothing wrong with it. Go get you some of that veteran stuff. You earned that. You earned that. Okay. Let's not forget you earned that. Okay. Go get you some free stuff. Okay. And man, have your kids buy you something. If you got some grown kids or close to grown, make them buy you something. Why? Because number one, your dad. Number two, because you say so. Number three, we just gonna throw Veterans Day on top of. That's all. But tell them go buy you something. You know, they say the best gifts are from the heart. And I'm not going to even argue with that. But it's okay to tell a guy what you want sometime too. Okay? It's okay to tell a young lady what you want sometime too. So tell your kids, hey, you better go get me something. Okay? Matter of fact, since you didn't come up with it on your own, here's what you need to get me. Here's what you need to get me. All right, but real talk, let me get back to this, y'all. Let's get to it. First of all, shout out to all the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, who bless the channel with financial contributions, because I can't do things the same way without y'all. So shout out to everyone who blesses the channel with financial contributions. And I do want to recognize Alice Stefano today. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Y'all, I will get that super chat turned on soon. You know, I forgot there's a certain little process I have to do. You know, and if you've been around for a while, you know, surprising that I personally would forget. I got to do a little process. So I forgot all about that. So I'll get that on this week. I'm sure if not this week, it'll definitely be ready by Monday for sure. Okay. So shout out to all y'all who wanted to support through the super chats and just haven't been able to yet. So shout out to all y'all. Thank you very much. And let's get to it, y'all. Y'all know how I go around these parts. There can only be one, because we appreciate everybody who comes to the channel, but it's always great to see people in before you get the show started. And that person is what we like to call around these parts the Highlander of today's stream. So shout out to my main man himself, y'all, the pit master himself. He is the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to you, my brother. We talking about my main man, Shep. Mike's Roundtable is the Highlander of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Y'all, he gonna get you when I don't get you. If I don't get you, he'll come through and get you. So watch yourself. The pit master in the building. Shout out to the pit crew as well. Real talk, real talk. Shout out to my main man, Trill Bentley, following them up, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to my main man, Kevin 3904 is here. Tunnel Runner is in the building. Great to see you. Great to see you. Red Pill Sleeper Cell is in the house. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is here. What's happening? What's happening? Gold P is in the building. All my hoes demonetized. I see you, my brother. I see you, my brother. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Brother John is in the building. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. We got G Toast in the building, y'all. G Toast, great to have you. MJD, I guess that's 2 by Roman numeral. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Inspired True Broadcast is in the building. What's good, my brother? What's good? Man, I wish I remember who that was. The man in arms, I don't remember who that was, but shout out to AJJ. Shout out to you, Afro Merchant is in the building. Good to have you, my brother. Shark Sims is here. What's good? What's good? We got Shogun Anakon in the house. What's up, my brother? Music Man 1982 is in the building. Frank McClure, what's going on? Okay, well, shout out to you, Frank. He said, I'm a Navy veteran, Roger. Can I get a shout out? Of course you can, my brother. Shout out to Frank McClure, who is in the building, who is a Navy veteran and who fought so we can do the things we do right now, y'all. You know, it is not, yeah, I know they tell us some crazy stuff sometimes, but if it were not for people like Frank, we would not be right here. I wouldn't be able to maintain freedom of speech without his help. And I couldn't do this show without it. So shout out to Frank McClure, who helps allow me to even do a show like this. So shout out to you, brother. Now, I hope that was a fine shout out. I hope it was, because you know what? I ain't got nothing but love and respect for you, my brother. I ain't got nothing in love. But for excuse me, I ain't got nothing but love and respect for you, brother. And that's real talk, y'all. That's real talk. And y'all, until I get that super chat thing going, which I promise I'm gonna jump on it the way I need to. The busy day yesterday, but I'm gonna jump on it. Hey, the Cash App is always available, y'all. The Cash App is always available, which runs 24 hours a day, y'all. There's never a bad time to send a Cash App. Just keep that in mind. Never a bad time. All right, folks. Now we gonna get into this, y'all. We gonna get into defective women, because a lot of women don't seem to get what their function is, and unfortunately, I gotta make an effort to tell them. Okay, I got to make an effort to tell them where their dysfunction is. All right. And if you start telling them, and I'm telling them, next thing you know, people start repeating us, and we get some progress out here, y'all. We get some progress. I know y'all see women complaining on social media, because I see them too. Okay, I now y'all may not listen to them the way I have to listen to them, because I'm a content creator. So you kind of off the hook in a way that I'm not. And I can appreciate your position. I surely can. I can appreciate your position. But if you pay attention to them, you'll see that all they really do is start repeating things that men say, and they just change up certain words so they can fit usually a false narrative that they want to put out there. That's really all that happens. Okay. Which lets you know that they are defective women. Because if you're repeating the same things that men are saying, changing up the wording instead of saying woman, female, things along that nature, she just changed it to men or males, or, and things along those lines. She's a defective woman. Because a defective woman thinks she's supposed to do the exact same thing that men are supposed to do. Now, are there things that we will all do as humans? Sure. But a man is very different than a woman. All right. It just is what it is. That's the way we were made. That's the way it's going to be. That's how God created us. He created man in his image, and he created woman in the image of man. Okay. We different. Okay. In some ways it's the same, but we're very different. It just is what it is. So if women are just trying to repeat things that men are saying, will it make sense? A lot of time it won't. And that's why it probably irks you sometimes when you do sit around and listen to stuff. I'm sure I have to listen to it far more than y'all do. But shout out to y'all for being able to just turn it off quicker than I am, because I got to listen to it for content purposes and things like that. So it is what it is. Now, there are things that are pushed out there that are not true. Okay. And then even some men will repeat some things that don't make no lick of sense when you actually take time to actually think about it. So I'm going to say to all the content creators out there, because I know a lot of folks who are listening, but don't necessarily say anything in the chat. It happens because I do it myself. I listen to somebody, but I don't necessarily make a comment in the chat or something. It's like, we're going to listen from the clouds, whatever. Well, if they like me, I'm moving on, take care of my business at the end of the day. I'm not going to participate in folks' chats like that. I just ain't got the time for it. That's just me personally. But the thing is, don't repeat stuff unless you think about it. Figure out if you agree with it, disagree with it. Are you neutral? If you even can be neutral to something, but figure out what's going on with it before you just start repeating it. Because when people start saying too much of the same thing, folks start saying stupid on a large level. People start sounding stupid on a very large level. Now, let's think about this, y'all. What is a woman? Now, if you ask somebody, if you ask a black woman trying to be a part of the, who wants to be on the Supreme Court, she may not be able to give you a legitimate answer. She don't know what to do. Somebody asks, what is a woman? For some reason, she couldn't say a human biological female. She couldn't say that. An adult human biological female. That was too complicated for her. Now, am I making fun of her? Yeah, a little bit, because when you are that age and you've done all this quote unquote great stuff, you got this resume behind you, and somebody tripped you up with a question like, "What's a woman?" I'm just saying, I know people can get tripped up here and there, y'all. I'm not saying people can't get tripped up. Somebody may trip me up one day on air, maybe, possibly, doubt it, but just maybe somebody could trip me up on air. But it ain't gonna be with a question that easy. Okay. It just ain't gonna be with a question that easy. So black women couldn't even tell you what a woman was. Well, a highfalutin, a high position black woman couldn't even tell you what a woman is. Do y'all think they might just be defective? Okay, was that a clue that sisters are defective? All right. Now we all got to go through childhood, and we start learning lessons, and we become adults. If we agree with those lessons, a lot of times we'll pass those lessons on. We'll pass it on to our friends, family, children, kids in the neighborhood, people you mentor, possibly, whatever your situation is, employees at work, co-workers, whatever, the management team, you may pass on different philosophies. Now, this is the thing, y'all. And I want y'all to think about this from a critical standpoint. And I'm probably going to change the title. But it's going to be right around what it already is. And I want y'all to think about it. Are black women defective? Let's think about this, y'all. Are black women defective? Now, a lot of the times, I'll put some links in the description so y'all can have an idea of some particular person or situation that we may be talking about, or just to have the ideal of a particular person or situation. But I decided not to do that today, y'all, because I don't want people to get caught up in just any particular person. Because black women are generally defective. Now, there's a lot of evidence out there that they're defective. Now, I told y'all, I've noticed that black women have been begging since I was a small child. Okay? I didn't really pay attention to it when I was a kid, but as you get older, then you're starting to peep game. So I don't live in the world where black women weren't beggars. I don't live in that world. Okay? It was never my world. Okay? I told y'all openly, I don't have a background where I come from a bunch of money. Now, I know a lot of black folks got the background similar to mine, even though a lot of us, we gonna flex, okay? But I don't come from a lot of money. So I saw girls beg and I saw women beg. All right? And I see women who've used sexual things to get stuff out of men for a long time. It's not new to me. I have literally been riding public transportation, had a woman who doesn't know me from Adam, okay, just sit down next to me and start begging. Now, women have changed the way they beg. There's a lot of dry begging going on, that I call it, where you begging, but you're trying to act like you're not asking for anything. Women do this regularly. Because a lot of women don't want to say they ask. They want to go into this. I'm an independent, I'm a strong, independent woman, okay? Okay? I don't need no man. And what's her best way to prove she don't need no man? To try to get money out of men without actually asking for it. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. I don't know what changed in the last, I'll say, few days or so. But a lot of people are starting to recognize that black women been begging. Now, I'm not saying ain't nobody seen it like I seen it, long time ago, but I seen a lot of folks who happen to start addressing the fact that black women are begging. So I'm taking it something must have happened and somebody saw something. Now, of course, I was going to do a show on defective women anyway, and begging is part of it. But I do want to say I do see, not that I be listening to folks' content like that, but I seen it in titles, or I seen it, little things on screens that now somehow people are focused on black women begging. Now, this may have a little something to do with the fact that, the quote unquote food stamp situation, or the lack of SNAP benefits that people have received. Even though they made an announcement to start getting some stuff out there, use all that contingency money, get people paid off, people didn't get SNAP when they were expecting it to happen. So I'm pretty sure the begging, really got going on November 1st. Okay. Now, wait a minute. What's today? Today is what? November 11th? So, I understand people, sure, Yeah, they've been begging probably more than usual. And that may have affected other people's content. The women have probably been begging a little more than usual. Okay. Now, this is the thing, y'all. Why would women beg men for money, even if they're doing it in a dry begging perspective, trying to make it seem like they're not begging? You know. Now, what is dry begging? A woman trying to present information in front of a man, so his response would be to make an offer, because she don't want any responsibility that may come with her accepting money from a man. Okay. You know, shout out to my main man, Debonair Brother. He says, sometimes the 300 peak viewership does not tell the influence, the Roger Report. The begging, the begging hinge is something I've noticed, as well as the compromised male. Well, you know what? I don't worry about it because I put it out there to the public, so the public gonna use it. You know, I just don't like it when people do poor content with great concepts that I know I provide. I just say that I don't appreciate the fact that people do poor content with great concepts, but I ain't got no control over that, so I don't worry about that. You know, all I can do is what I can do. You know, and if people learn and get better, you know, things improve. I hope that's all I can do. All right. So now you got more women begging out here. It's just a little bit more open now that you'll see them begging. But we're not just talking about women begging, even though that is something that you can see that women are showing how defective they are. All right. Now, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. It's not my wishes as a person. I don't wish bad stuff on people. I just don't. Even when it comes to people not getting their SNAP benefits, people not getting Medicaid benefits, you know, people not getting subsidized home. I don't care that they're getting cut off. If they get cut off totally, I'm totally fine with that. But I don't wish it upon anybody else. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. The way I would handle things from a government perspective is I wouldn't snatch any welfare policy from a person. I just would not offer welfare policies to new people. That's all. And as you know, automation happens or whatever, you know, lack of jobs will be needed in government. You know, you just have people move from one department to another department because people are going to die off the programs that already exist. That's how I would have done it. You know, it is what it is. And you know what? Somebody would have said that's not fair. You know what I would have said? So what? And I'd have just kept it pushing. Sometimes you got to remember the ruthless nice guy got to be inside you at all times. You know what? Sometimes you just got to say, so what? It is what it is. All right. So now you got women out here begging men, and they're dry begging men. All right. Hold on one second. Shout out to Floyd Thompson. I'm curious. I saw the word favor, so I got curious in the comment. He says, Roger, I had a man walk in my house yesterday asking for a favor. I gave him the favor of Betsy Remington. He all but proven he didn't really need my help. Hashtag blam boom. All I'm gonna say to that is shout out to good old Betsy. That's all I'm gonna say to that, y'all. Because we ain't gonna promote nothing too rough around here. I'm just gonna say shout out to good old Betsy, man. She, you know, she a real one, y'all. Betsy a real one. You can depend on her from time to time. You can depend. Hey, Southern Shade is always a couple of good ones out here, y'all. It's always a couple good ones out here. Shout out to Betsy. She know how to clear things up. Real talk, okay? All right, now back to the subject at hand. Back to the subject at hand. So you got a lot more women dry begging out here now. Okay, you got some have now become open beggars. Now I'm gonna say, you know, a woman is defective if she out there begging, because let's be real about it. Should a beautiful black woman, okay, should she ever be at the point where she out here begging? No, it shouldn't happen. Not in American society. She shouldn't be having to beg in American society. What's going on? She should have friends, family, and all that to fall back on. But I mean, your first thing is, well, from a non-spiritual perspective. I mean, God first, but from a non-spiritual perspective, you're supposed to have a husband. Okay, you're supposed to have a husband. Your husband gonna have your back. You ain't got to worry about it like that. Okay, you ain't got to worry about it like that. You need something, tell your husband you need it. What husband gonna do? He's gonna assess the situation. If he comes up with the fact that you need this, if he agrees with you, what is he gonna do? He's gonna go out his way to get it because he don't want you depending on any other man to take care of your needs. And that's just what it is. Now, a lot of women will say, well, men don't do that, especially no black men. You don't know what they do. You're not a wife. Okay. If you're not a wife, it's not up to you to say what men won't do for their wives. Okay. See, men can talk about relationships because we're different than women. Women just usually speak from their own personal perspective. If men won't do anything for you personally, that's because you're not worth doing anything for. Men do all kinds of stuff that they really shouldn't do sometimes for women that they value. So if they're not doing it for you, it's a you problem. Okay. Has a man spent way more money than he's supposed to spend for a woman that he believes is valuable? Absolutely. Has men gone into debt for women that he think is valuable? Absolutely. Have men spent their last on women they think are valuable? Sure they have. Okay. Men have done way too much for women. And I'm talking about women they ain't even married to. Have men bought cars for women they are not married to? Yup. I'm not saying it happened all the time, but it has happened. Okay. Have men bought phones for women? Sure did. Have they bought women outfits? Absolutely. Have they got their nails done? Yup. Have they got the toes done? Yup. Did they get the hair done? Yup. And let's keep it real. If she wasn't a wife, that's not a required thing. That's extra. Okay. But you know what has happened, y'all? A lot of women out here begging because they believe, or they simply choose to believe, that a man they're not married to has to provide them on a way that a husband provides to his wife. Now, I'm not saying a man can't flex sometime and really want to do something for his woman. If that's what he want to do, it's his money. I ain't gonna tell you can't spend your money how you want to. But if you want to flex for your girl who is not your wife and do things that should happen for a wife, that is on you at the end of the day. Okay, that is on you. Okay, you got to take your L's the same way you take your W's. So that's on you. So if she start tripping about something and you lose out on that woman, my thing is, what am I supposed to tell you? If she drive off in a car that you bought her, that's on you. If she go picks up another man in the car that you bought her, that's on you because that wasn't your wife. Now, if this was your wife, I'd be like, oh no, she bogus. She bogus. But if you bought some woman that you are not married to a vehicle and she go pick up another man and put him in driving your vehicle, that's how you thinking. Just driving your vehicle, but it's not your vehicle because you bought it for her. It was in her name. You bought her a vehicle. Well, when that other man drive your vehicle, you ain't really got nothing to trip about. It is what it is. All I can say is I hope it was worth it. See, I don't think a man should ever complain about something he gave to a woman. The thing is, was it worth it? Because at the end of the day, I ain't gonna give no woman nothing I don't want her to have. So if Roger buys some woman a car and we not married, Roger don't care about that car. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Now I doubt you gonna find Roger buying some woman a car. If that he ain't married, I doubt that would ever happen. But if I do, I don't care about that car. That car don't mean squat to me. I've always given women, I've made nice gestures for women with a lot of things that when push come to shove, I don't care about those things. If I bought some woman a teddy bear, I don't care about that teddy bear. That's why she got it. Because I ain't never been married. So there's limitations I'm going to have because she's not my wife. And the older I got, the more I learned, the less I invested in anything that I would be upset that a woman had after we broke up. or after we stop dealing with each other, after we stop talking. No, and this is something men need to tell young men. Okay, you need to share this with your brothers. Okay, you need to share this with even the younger, older, whatever the case is. Don't give them nothing you're gonna actually care about. Okay. Shout out to Trail Bill. He said, I'm about to say, Roger out here buying bras with. Not at all, brother. Not at all. But I guarantee you, if I did, I don't care about it. And that's just real talk. I have given women some gifts. I've got them flowers. I don't care nothing about them flowers. Okay. I've bought women some shirts. I don't care nothing about them shirts. Okay. I can't say I bought stuff that women would shout about on social media a lot. Women talk about things like jewelry. I ain't bought no women jewelry. Why? Because I might care if she leave and she got the jewelry, so I just don't buy her none. It is what it is. Now, some women would interpret that as selfish. And my thing is that's okay. I don't care what you interpret it as because you're not that important. And I think a lot of men need to get there where you start recognize how unimportant women are. If she's not your wife, there's only a certain level she should be able to reach, which means there's only be certain things that you should be willing to give her. Okay? See, if you give a woman some money, can you trip that the money gone? Because you don't know when things may blow up, and I'm not saying things will blow up. But if you got the trip because the money gone, you shouldn't have gave it to her. All right? You could be about to pay your rent, and you really attached to this woman. You could love this woman to death, so you think. And she may have a situation that come up. And now all of a sudden, she needs some big money right now, real fast. Now, if you believe this woman and you really think if you really think she about what she say she about, and she really down with you like that and all this type of stuff, and you really feeling this kind of way about her, and you say, you know what? I can handle it. It may not be the best situation for me. Let's say she needs the rent money. Okay, she needs the rent money. I don't know what she did, but she needs the rent money. You was about to pay that rent. You got $1,000 cash. You was on your way to the office. Well, yeah, I guess you wouldn't be carrying cash, but maybe you are paying cash. Okay. But for my example, we're going to go with some cash. You got $1,000 cash. You going right there to see the landlord to drop that money off. The story to me just sounds better with cash. I know you're probably going to use a card or a check or something, but to me, sometimes when you tell a story, it sounds better with cash. You got cold hard cash in your hand. You're about to go see the landlord. Drop $1,000 on them like it ain't nothing, because you do this month to month. Okay, you drop that money on them. Okay. Okay. But the thing is, she need that money. You appreciate this woman in some kind of way. So you say, nah, I'm gonna end up paying a $50 late fee for some rent. I pay it next time. I'm about to get paid again. I'm getting paid in 4 days. It's all good. I go and give her the money. I just pay the rent out the check. Check coming. I'm good. All right, cool. But if she disappear on you that day, you got to be okay with it. If she can disappear on you that day, can you really take the loss of that $1,000 without having to think about it like that? I mean, you're going to think about it because it's going to be a story you're going to tell you, probably your closest friend. Yeah, y'all gave her $1,000 and she dipped. I mean, that's normal. But if you really needed that $1,000, if that $1,000 is going to change up your situation and cause some type of real commotion, you just shouldn't have gave it to her. It's that simple at the end of the day. Just tell her no. It is what it is. Now, shout out to the boss. He said $1,000 cash, not a lot. No, that depends on what your situation is. It may not be a lot to you, but it's a lot to me. Okay? $1,000 will always be a lot to me. I told y'all before, my first car was $500. Once you pass 500, that's a lot to me. Okay. Now I understand how inflation goes and things like that. And, things are different over time and all that. But we talking about, I bought a car with 500. Okay. So When you say $1,000, that's 2 cars. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that's not a lot. People, I mean, don't get it twisted. It's people will always say it's not a lot when it ain't their money. But if it's my money, it's a lot. Just is what it is. Okay, because when I die, y'all, $500 still was the first amount that I paid for a car. Okay. Okay. Shout out to Trey Billy. He say 200 a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying any amount of money cannot be considered. Truth be told, to me, $100 is a lot. Okay, $100 is a lot. You can do a lot of stuff with $100, but I'm talking about 500. But I bought a car with that. So anybody talking about something 500 and better, my brain gonna go into it. Y'all, I'm gonna shift gears at that point. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna shift gears at that point. When you start talking 500, I'm gonna shift gears. You know, because to me, $100 is a lot of money. Now I understand people be like, well, you know, if you rich and you got this, or you well off, all this, and this ain't supposed to seem like no. Don't be loose with your money. If you're gonna be loose with somebody else's money. Why be loose with your money? I'll spend your 1,000 way quicker than I spend my 1,000. That's real talk, okay? Not that I'm promoting that, but I'm just saying, $100 is a lot to me. You know, I gotta start asking questions at $100. You know, my homie say you need $50. All right, cool, I got you. Okay, you say you need $100. Hey, bro, what's going on? I don't expect you to need $100. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Okay. Now, hey, y'all can be shamed at the different things here and there too now. So let's keep that in mind. You ain't gonna shame me though, because I don't care about you like that. You ain't gonna shame me. You $100. I gotta have a discussion. What's going on in your life that you need this $100? You making some bad choices out here? We need to we might have to do an intervention. Okay. We might have to do an intervention. What's going on with you? Okay. What is going on with you? We may just need an intervention. All right. All right. But shout out to the boss one more time. He said you can't buy no high maintenance coochie with $100. I'm gonna say yes, you can. Those are prostitute prices, y'all. $100 is prostitute prices. I'm talking about real prostitutes. Okay, we talking about actual whores. Okay, you can go buy an actual whore with $100, not hoes. Okay, hoes go cheap because hoes trying to play games, but you can go buy real prostitutes with $100 now. I mean, come on now, come on. What you trying to say out here, brother? Okay, you can go get you a real professional whore with $100. Now, if somebody I know needs to borrow, honey, that's one thing. Is you getting a whore? you gonna step out there and get you a whore? Them whore prices, man. What you doing? Okay, what you doing? But back to it though. Back to it. Okay, well, you know what? That kind of coincides because yeah, the boss do say y'all prostitute, not high maintenance. I guess technically not for you as a person, maybe not. I mean, she got to take care of her own maintenance. Yo, you ain't got to take care of it. So I guess technically that's the point. All right, but you know, when it comes down to it though, okay, let's say she's a prostitute. That's defective. A woman selling her coochie, okay, that's defective. Why is she selling her coochie? Because she's defective. Because a woman can go through life getting a lot of stuff taken care of, and all she got to do is meet a guy who's into her and be the best woman she can be for him. That's all she got to do. It ain't that hard at the end of the day. Okay, it ain't that hard at the end of the day to be, you know, just a wonderful person to one guy. That's all she needs. Be a wonderful person to one guy. And some people would say, well, what if the guy broke? You know what? If you take a broke guy and be wonderful to him, all of a sudden he want money. Why? Because he want to do stuff for his lady that he can't afford to do for his lady. See, men don't have to be convinced to do things for wonderful women. Men don't have to be convinced to do that. Man know a woman is wonderful. Okay. He may not have it like other people have it, but y'all know we get a television, we get the internet too. We want our woman to have some nice stuff. We see other women with some man and he driving around in a nice car. Now maybe I can't go get you a Bentley, but if you my wife, I may be able to get you a nice Ford. Okay, I can get you a nice Chevy. I might be able to splurge on you and get you some luxury. Okay, a man gonna do that for his wife. Now if she's not your wife and you do it, and that's on you at the end of the day. More power to you, bro. That's all I'm saying. Because if you bought her something that you shouldn't have gave her, it ain't her fault that you bought it. Okay? And if you let some woman shame you into buying you something, hey, it is what it is. You still made the decision. So that's a personal problem for you. That ain't got nothing to do with the rest of it. That's a you problem. Okay? That's a you problem. And see, that may sound cold to men, but it's fair and it's real. And it is what it is. All right? Now, the women out here begging, okay, the women out here begging, okay, just defective. You have women out here saying they need protection. How do you end up as a woman not being protected? And I understand people will say, well, the police out there. Well, the police can't get to everything. And I understand that. And women are talking about protections far beyond what the police can offer a particular woman. Okay, because the police can only try to come to the rescue if something is going down. But no, they want protection. They want to know that they can go about to and fro and nobody's going to bother them. And that's okay. I don't mind women wanting that. But the fact that you want it and don't have it usually means that somehow you're defective. Because we're going to have to keep it real. And this ain't to hurt feelings. This is just to tell folks the truth. If a woman's single, yes, she probably does need to be protected so she can feel better about what's going on in her life. That happens. If she's married, she is protected. How is she protected? Because her husband's going to protect her. And her husband is going to have other men that love him that will protect his wife because his wife is a part of him. There are other men that's going to respect her husband. And therefore, because they respect the husband, they will do for women that they wouldn't normally do for a woman that ain't really messing with them. Men will go out of their way to protect a woman that doesn't even necessarily belong to them, but it belongs to a man that he respects. It belongs to somebody in his friendship group, maybe a coworker. They do a lot for other men. And this is something that's hard for a lot of women to conceptualize because they do so many things to be enemies toward each other. And that's fine. They got a right to be idiots if they want to. I can't say they can't be an idiot. You live in America, you have a right to stupidity at the end of the day. I can't say they can't do it. But men, we show a lot of respect to each other. When we with you, we with you. It just is what it is. If we with you, we with you. All right. Now, this is the thing. When it comes down to it, you got to make decisions. You got to make choices. Your choices are going to add up at the end of the day. Okay, your choices are going to add up. Now, what you do with those choices is your business. Okay, what you do with those choices are your business. If you want to be protected, you can be. But if you want the protection of a man, you got to have a man in your corner. So what do I mean you can be? Well, a woman can protect herself, right? Now, people may have a lot of ideas on how effectively a woman can take care of herself. That's on her. She ain't got no husband. That's up to her on how good or bad or that she can protect herself. It is what it is. Who gonna come to her rescue? She'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. It's her business at the end of the day. Me personally, I don't care. She's not my wife, so why would I care? Well, Rod, you just said other men would do this. Or is she my brother's wife? Is she my cousin's wife? You know, is she any of my friends' wives? You know, is she a co-worker's wife? Are you part of a management team? Is she the wife of one of the other managers? are you are you part of a church organization? Is she a wife of the deacon? No, if she ain't none of these things, she gotta figure that protection thing out on her own. I ain't mad at her. This America, baby. You do what you do. You figure it out. I just know you're defective because you're not protected. Because women that are not protected are usually defective. Okay. See, I've said thousands of times, y'all. A man's supposed to provide leadership, protection, and provision. Who does he provide leadership to? The people he leads. Okay. The people he leads are the ones he protects and the ones he provides for. Okay. If you're not being led by that man, what happens to you ain't none of his business. Men have overstepped sometimes. Let's keep it real. Men have overstepped sometimes. There have been women who found themselves in trouble. And men have overstepped sometimes and got themselves killed. Why? Because some random woman got herself in trouble with some guy. She was single, and you tried to help that woman out without paying attention to what the context of the situation was. Or maybe you did, and you found out she was single, and you wanted to intervene because she was a woman, and that's all it took for you to intervene. And guess what? Now that guy dead. He dead now. Why did he intervene for a single woman? Now let's think about that, because I know that sounds bad to women. Why he intervene for a single woman like that? Because see, this is the thing. If you intervene for a wife, that's totally different. Because number one, a wife ain't out here to cause trouble. Okay. If a woman is a wife and she acts single, she's gonna have a hard time staying married. Let's keep that real. She's gonna have a hard time staying married. See, if you intervene for somebody's wife, somebody owes you something at that point. When you intervene for a single woman, I mean, what's she doing? Now, I can understand if you happen to be right there and somebody snatched her purse and you intervene in that way, well, you know, it was just something totally at random. But if two people seem like they're in a relationship, number one, it ain't my job to check him on how he handles his woman. It ain't even my job. If I can peep game and see that they're in a relationship, oh, whatever he want to do with his, that's his business at the end of the day. And I know some women don't like when men say stuff like that, but I'm keeping it real. Why would I intervene with how that man is dealing with his woman? Because if I do that, that means I'm cool with him intervening with how I handle my woman. You know, I got to respect him because I need him to respect me. I can't help you. Y'all kick it. Y'all go together, as they say. Y'all go together. I can't help you. I can't help you. Ain't nothing I can do. Okay, now let's say she's a single woman. Okay. And she causing trouble. Well, my thing is don't start no fights you can't win. Okay. I don't believe in starting fights anyway, but why start a fight that you cannot win? Now, what kind of woman starts a fight that she can't win? That's defective. Okay. Ain't that defective? Does that sound like something operating in a standard way? A person out here just starting fights? Again, I can understand if I just happen to walk up and I see your purse get snatched. Maybe I intervene because I'm giving you charity at that point. I'm treating people the way I would want to be treated. Okay, I saw the guy snatch a purse. I know that y'all wasn't together. You know, you wasn't talking to the guy. You wasn't pissing him off or whatever like that. Now, let's say I'm on public transportation, okay? Because public transportation was fun. I ain't been on it in a while, but public transportation offered a lot of fun events. I'll just say that, a lot of fun events. I'm on public transportation. You get into it with a man, start trying to embarrass him and talk all crazy to him, right? Now I peep game on what you done did to the man. You going out your way to try to make a scene and embarrass him. Now let's say he smacked the dog mess out you. Now some men would be inclined to quote unquote intervene. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, you might want to chill because you don't want to get arrested. Now, am I trying to save her? No. My goal is to save him. Hey, bro, you done slapped. You probably want to get off the bus and just go on somewhere right now. Ain't no point in being here. If the bus driver stopped the bus and they turn this into an incident, they call the police now. Now you got to deal with legal situations. You probably want to just get off the bus and just go on somewhere, bro. Am I trying to stop him from basically whooping on her? No, I don't care. It is what it is. It's not my business. It is what it is. But what I am trying to do is stop him from having a legal situation behind it. That's it. She wanted to create a scene with him because she's a defective woman. He handled his business. It's not me to dictate how that man should handle his business. I wasn't the one that was insulted. He was the one that got insulted. If his response is smacking the dog mess out of her, that's his response. I don't see the issue. And I know a lot of women will say, well, no, see, that's being problematic. And see, that's the problem with me and you men are scared to do this and scared to do. No, I'm not scared to do squat. I don't see the problem in what happened. Okay, that's what I don't see. I do not see a problem. You got out of pocket with him. You got loud to embarrass him. Okay. And his response to that was to slap the dog mess out you. I think that's a cool response. I mean, people will say, well, would you want your daughter to get slapped like that? You know what? Yeah. I wouldn't want my daughter to be talking to a man like that in the first place. Now, if she talks to a man like that and she gets slapped, what I'm supposed to do? Cry? I mean, I don't know what y'all think out here, but Roger live in the real world. What? You really think I'm finna be that concerned with how some guy responded to my daughter acting a fool on him? Y'all think I'm really... I understand, like, well, that's your daughter, though. My daughter, if this is my daughter, she was trained how to present herself in public. See, that's the thing that a lot of y'all ain't gonna get. If she was my daughter, she was trained on how to present herself in public. So why would I be concerned about some guy smacking my daughter when my daughter went out her way to make a public scene with him? I did not tell my daughter to get out here and try to rip a man's dignity from him. Because I get what women try to do. So if my daughter do something that I wouldn't advise her to do, and she get results that I wouldn't want her to get, how am I supposed to trip about that? And I know a lot of y'all, man, the boy, if that was my daughter, I'd be ready to kill something. What good is that going to do my daughter? I ain't worried about the stranger that I don't know. I'm worried about my daughter. And if my daughter put herself in a position where she had to learn that hard lesson, more power to her. I hope she got it the first time. That's what I'm going to say. I hope she understand. I understand it now. You know, that's some guy on the internet kind of blowing up saying that. You know? I hope that's what my daughter would do if somebody slapped the mess out of her. I hope she would say, even if she don't say it out loud, I understand it now. That's what daddy was talking about. Okay? That's what daddy meant. All them times he told me not to act no fool, that's what daddy meant. I understand it now. But I'm gonna stop right there, y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to R.I.P. Boy, you and these names be funny. R.I.P. Captain Saberhole. You have the mic, my brother.
Hey, good morning, Roger. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning.
You know, ever since I was a young boy, I've learned a few things about women. One, you're always begging for something from men. At this point, just about any man would do. Number two, you're always blaming men for something. Number three, you're always complaining about some men somewhere. So, on one hand, you got unruly hoes who are telling men every time that they don't need them. what men are here for. I've heard them talking about average men as an excess of men. I've heard a whole lot about men, about the men that they don't want. But on the same hand, they keep telling men about not being quote unquote protected. Like, oh, you don't like us. Every time you open your mouth, it's always something negative about us. Every time you open your mouth, it's to remind us how independent that you are, how much you got it, how much more money that you're making than us. So why should we protect you? You're so strong. Why should we protect something that is stronger than us? Something that is bigger than us, something that is better than us. If you're so much better, you should be able to protect yourself. If you're so much better, you should be able to feed yourself correctly. If you're so much better than us, then you simply would never need us. And if you're so much better than us, why are you even talking about us? Just let us live, let us breathe. You know what I mean? Leave us alone. You know? If we are mediocre, let us be mediocre. Just do not mention us. But nah, they cannot stop talking about men. For as much they claim that they are decensuring men only to make it always about what a man is not doing or what a man is doing wrong. I think, no. Yeah, these young Keishas, man, they gotta leave us alone, man. What do you think, Roger?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think a lot of men are caught up in something that men say that doesn't necessarily hit home in a women's world. Because it's not about whether a woman wants you or not. It's just simply, are you part of the team? Are you part of the crew? You in the in crowd or you in the out crowd? Again, if somebody's wife is getting messed with, I wouldn't have no issue intervening for somebody's wife. Because a wife ain't out here starting trouble in the first place. Because she has to answer to her husband. If she's single, it's going to be whatever I feel like at the moment. Because at the end of the day, if I see something blatant, yeah, maybe I'll give some charity and intervene. Because that's me, trying to treat people the way I want to be treated. God wants me to do that. But if you start a problem with a man and the man fixes his problem, I don't see where intervention is necessary. You see what I'm saying? I just don't see where it's necessary. You start a problem with a guy, the guy solved the problem. Now, he may have solved it in a way that a lot of people wouldn't agree with. Let's say he smacked her up. All I see is a man solving a problem. I don't see a problem. I saw where a problem was. I saw him smack her, and the problem stopped because she stopped acting the fool. Okay, and it is what it is. I ain't tripping. Now, what I would advise the man so he won't have any other problem was to remove yourself from the situation so you don't have any legal trouble about this. Him smacking her, I don't even see that as a major issue. I just don't see it as a major issue because I don't believe in bothering people. And see, I can't say it's okay for a woman to bother people when I don't believe anybody should go around bothering people. Well, so I can't rock with that.
In certain circumstances, let's say you go out of your way to defend them and you have to break somebody's jaw and you get locked up, at least for the rest of the night. Are these hoes going to come up with the bail money for you? These hoes will tell you that they don't want to.
Well, see, this is the thing. Why would I defend her? I got to understand why I'm defending her because in most situations are not going to be a blatant thing where like some stranger snatched some woman's purse and ran off. That's not realistic. Why do most men and women have a problem? Either they're together in a relationship, which I ain't got no business being involved with. So guess what? I'm not protecting her from her man. That's just out the question. Or number two, you usually have some woman starting an issue with some guy. That's normally how it goes. Now, what am I supposed to do? How do I protect the woman in that situation? Ain't really much I can do. If you bent on having problems, you're going to find somebody who's going to give you one. I'm not going to physically restrain her so she won't have a problem.
But Roger, you're not manly enough. You're supposed to protect her from herself. You know she's a retard, right? She's a retarded, right?
Wait a minute, you say we're supposed to protect them from themselves? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
No. That's you got to protect you from yourself. Yeah, I don't protect anybody from themselves unless we talking about small children. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the baby from touching the stove because it's hot. I'm gonna stop the baby from crawling over some glass that because the cup broke on the floor. Yeah, baby break the glass. I don't even know why the baby got the glass, but the baby break the glass. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and grab the baby so the baby don't cut himself. But when people become adults, I don't need to protect an adult from themselves. I don't need to do that.
Yeah, in their imagination, the perfect world would be a world where every danger is and canceled. They can't be harmed by anything because we men are always protecting them like little children. I think many of them deep down are a bunch of little children.
I
The
mean,
way that they think.
if I gotta no see, but see the thing is, men buy into things that they shouldn't necessarily buy into. Why are you buying into she's like a small child? No, I don't need to protect you from yourself. You're an adult. That's how it works over here in America. If you're somewhere else, that's different. In America, you are an adult. I don't need to protect you from yourself. You're an adult. I understand if the adult is unusual, meaning they have a mental issue or they have physical issues or something where they're not really a participating member of society, special needs people, things like that. I get that. But if you're talking about a regular everyday adult, no, I don't protect adults from themselves. That's
That's
silly.
the
Shout out to Afro Merchant. he said, Roger getting soft. Let that baby learn the hard way. Shout out to you, Afro Merchant. I'll be soft for the babies, man. I'll be soft for the babies. But the adults, hey, it is what it is. That's on you. But I'm going to say this, y'all. Any adult that needs to be protected from themselves is a sign of a defect. It is what it is. People can feel however they want to feel about that. And I know a lot of guys have said, you got to protect women from themselves. She's defective. She's an adult. I don't need to protect an adult from themselves. I understand if it's something that came up every blue moon. Maybe a person was finna take some medicine, they grabbed the wrong pill and didn't realize, that ain't the right pill. I get something like that. That's a blue moon thing every once in a while. But to regularly have to protect an adult from themselves, that's not. I'm not doing that. I wouldn't. I've said many a time, y'all. The main job of a parent is to make sure your kids do not need you. I have said this consistently about raising children. Get them to a point where they do not need you. So ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna say that on a regular basis and then go into this belief that I gotta protect an adult from themselves. If I need to protect an adult from themselves, this person is not mentally capable of me having a genuine relationship with them. This is like me. That sounds like me dating a special needs person. That's what that sounds like to me. And y'all do what y'all want with that. I don't go after special needs people. Okay. So if I got to protect you from yourself, you're special needs. And I got to treat you like you special needs. But let me get the mic over to Red Pill Sleeper Cell, who has come up. Now that's not a joke to me. I'm dead serious, y'all. That's the fact. If I got to treat you like a special needs person, we can't date. I have met women, y'all, with problems. And I'm talking about I've met women with an actual problem. Even if it's not you can't spot it immediately. You talk to them and you start figuring out this woman has an actual problem. No, I don't make relationships with women with actual problems. That's me taking advantage of a person, and I ain't doing all that. Yeah, I'm not doing that, and that's real talk. So if you special needs, we can't date. And I've literally had special needs women who tried to date me. It's just I picked up that they were not mentally capable of having a relationship the way I can. So I just don't take advantage of it. It is what it is.
that
But
ass
let me get
though.
what you say.
But that ass though.
What about it? If it's special needs, I don't need it. You know, I'm gonna say shout out to Soul Provider Speak. He said, "What woman doesn't have a problem?" No, brother. It's different levels to problems. It's different levels. If you talk to certain women, you can pick up on the fact that they're not mentally capable as a woman. And if you're not mentally capable to have a normal relationship, you're supposed to leave those women alone. Y'all, that's taking advantage of people, y'all. You know, you don't know they might be an undiagnosed person, real talk. They might be an undiagnosed person. I know maybe y'all don't think about this type of stuff, but if she got real problems that's showing through a conversation, man, just leave the chick alone. It is what it is. And now I'm sure he's joking, at least somewhat of a joke in there. But y'all, if you special and I got to protect you from yourself, we can't be together. I don't care what's going on. We can't be together because you are not a normal adult. It's that simple to me. And I know y'all you may be playing with this a little bit, but real talk, if I have to protect you from yourself, I cannot be in a relationship with you. What go ahead and say what the last thing you said so I can get his mic to Red Pill Sleep and say what was the last thing you just said?
I said, aren't they all like that?
No, they're not all like that. They may act that way, but acting that way will get you ghosted from me. That's all. That's the only thing gonna happen with me. You're gonna end up with us not talking to each other. You know, I get what y'all saying. That, you know, women have problems. Yeah, humans have problems, but there's a certain level of problems that humans should be able to handle. But Red Pill Sleeper Cell, you got it, my brother.
Salute Roger, salute panel, salute chat. Roger, can I ask you a question? A quick question.
Sure, my brother. Sure.
Do you like to be abused?
Absolutely not.
The fellow gentleman, do you like to be abused?
Oh,
people in the chat, do you like to be abused? Can you put a 1 if you don't want to be abused? Because I see that, you know, we have 78 people. It was 91 when I got up on the panel, but we only have 56 likes. And I noticed it's been a trend since Roger got his new channel. And this is totally unacceptable. I know, look, you probably grew up in a house with EBT where you thought everything was free. This man works.
what I got to do with me?
This man works very hard to gather information and give you good, informative entertainment. Can you please put your fat finger and hit the thumbs up? Likes are free. It helps with the algorithm. We're trying to get this man to get his channel where it was and to go farther. And he cannot do that if you do not hit the like button. Also share. And if you have some money, send him money on the Cash App. Thank you. Sorry about that, Roger.
No problem, Red Pill Sleeper. Say I appreciate you big time, brother. Appreciate you big time. Cause you're right, brother. I got to go through some trouble to have the best show on social media. I don't know if y'all know that, but I give y'all the best show on social media. I have to actually go through a little bit of trouble to put the content together. Real talk. Okay. I got to go see a bunch of stuff and read a bunch of stuff to see what I'm going to actually talk about. And I got to talk about it from a level where I know what I'm actually talking about. I understand there are some content creators that just go out there and wing everything without checking into anything. I ain't one of those guys. I'm just not one of those guys. I'm gonna know what I'm talking about when I get up on here, and I'm gonna make sure I can carry the show on my own. I do open it up for guests, but I'm not guaranteed the guests gonna come any given day. So I got to make sure I'm good enough to do the thing on my own, and that's what I stay prepared for. So I appreciate that, my brother. Real talk, I do appreciate that. Okay. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all. We have to be able to be okay with the concept of defective women. Now, I understand there are women out here nowadays who are trying to get men to spend ridiculous amounts of money on them without even doing anything. You know, we got women suggesting to men that you need to be able to prepare them to go on a date. And I'm saying any level of prepare. If a woman says, I want to go out with you,
You just me or Roger? Roger is down. No, maybe. All right, whatever.
And I'm back, y'all. My apologies. My apologies. I had a device that I had a device that wasn't charged, y'all. Wasn't charged. My bad. I did not know that. I thought I had it plugged in, and it was not. So I thought it was at 100%, and I'm at, I guess, less than 5 or something. I don't know, but I'm charging it now. So I grabbed a different device, and we're gonna keep the show flowing, as they say, y'all. We're gonna keep the show flowing. Okay. Shout out to Red Hill Sleeper Cell. He said the handicapped women got Roger. Y'all, I ain't losing to no handicapped women. I got an ego anyway. I don't plan on losing to no woman at all. And I'd be darned if I lose to some handicapped women. I ain't doing that one. I ain't doing that one. That's real talk. But as I was saying, y'all, okay. And matter of fact, let me clarify this to y'all. There are women out here that are not necessarily classified as special needs, but if you have a conversation with them, you should be able to pick up on the fact that they don't have it all together in the head. So we got women who are looking for men to do things for them that should not have to be done. Okay, we have women who are looking for men to do things with them that should not have to be done. All right. Okay, let's say, for example, you have a woman who says, well, in order for us to go out, I need $200 so I can get my nails done. I need to get my feet done. Can you buy me a dress? Can you pay for a babysitter? They ask for a lot of different things from men that has nothing to do with anything they should be asking for a man they should be asking from a man who is not their husband. If I have to prepare you for the date, you just don't get to go on the date. Now, this is something a lot of men need to understand, that it's okay to understand this concept, y'all. We need to spread this amongst men, because unfortunately, a lot of men don't have it. If I have to prepare you for the date, you don't get to go on the date. There is no me buying you clothes so you can go on a date. You just don't go. Now, why you don't have the clothes to wear on the date, not my problem. Not interested in any reasoning behind it. I just know you can't provide yourself an outfit to go on the date. That's all I need to know. I don't really need to know anything else. You're a defective woman. Okay? You need me to provide you a babysitter. You're a defective woman. I don't need to know anything else. Okay? Whatever's going on in your life, you can't even carve out time to have a date. Now, let's keep it real. Okay? Did somebody force you to become a single mother? Probably not. Because I doubt that you're a widow. Now, if you're a widow, that's different. But I doubt that you're a widow. So let's keep that real. Okay? I have seen some women recently saying some ridiculous stuff. Now, sometimes it's hard to believe that they're not just saying ridiculous stuff to go viral. It seems like that's what people do. But then when I look at the stupidity of women from a general basis, yes, women do choose to be stupid. It's not something that they are. I know a lot of black men buy into this concept that black women don't really get it. Now they get it. They know what they're doing. In order to manipulate men, you have to have an idea of how the world works around you. And that's just a real thing. Okay? That's a very real thing. You got to have some level of understanding about things if you're going to manipulate people to doing stuff for you that they do not have to do. Because everything we do for women from an American context is voluntary. Now, I understand there's other places in the world that have similar structured countries, and some of these things would apply to them. I do for women what I want to. I don't have to do for any woman except my wife and daughters that live in my home. That's it. That's how it is, y'all. I don't even technically have to go protect my sisters. Why? My sisters don't live with me. They're not under my protection. Now, would I help protect my sister? Yeah, because when I lived with them, we were in my father's home, my mother's home. That was their home. So me protecting my sister was an extension of my father. My father's going to protect his daughter. I'm just an extension of him. So yes, I will protect my sister at that particular point. At some point, they became grown. It's no longer my father's job to protect them. You know who's supposed to protect them when they're grown? Their husbands. Now, if their husbands need my help to protect them, cool. I ain't got no issue with that. They still my sisters and I love them. So my brother-in-law can call me and say, hey, bro, I need some help. Okay, cool. What you need me to do? And we make it happen. Other than that, why do I need to protect them? Now, a lot of black men, y'all will hear something like that and it will bother you because a lot of things that you pick up about manhood got skipped past you because you wasn't necessarily raised with your father. I can protect my sisters if I want to, but it ain't my job. They're not my daughters. Now, let's say I'm around them and you do something. Well, I'm in their presence, so sure, I'm gonna help because they're my sisters at the end of the day because I love them. But I understand it ain't my job. Okay, it's their husband's job to protect them, but I can help their husband. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm gonna beat the brakes off you because they my sister. But no, I don't have an inherent responsibility to go protect my sister. If they were out in the streets bothering men and some man did what he had to do to check them, don't expect me to come over there, 3 hours later, or don't expect me to get a phone call and I'm finna rush over there because some man did something to them. My thing is like, why ain't you move? If you finna go out there and start talking crazy to somebody and he about to slap you, why ain't you duck?
Roger,
Because that's what I would
you,
think. Why ain't you
you
duck?
ask you ask them one question and one question on dang, what did she do to make this nigga damn man?
What? See, this is the thing. I'm not gonna ask because I'm not gonna care. And see, a lot of men have to learn to get to this point. I don't care what he did because you bothered him. Now, if it was a situation where my sister wasn't bothering him, that would be different. But if you go bother a man, I can't come help you because you did something to bother a man. I can't help you. If you're not in the right, you're not in the right. Because what happens if the roles were reversed and some woman did something to bother me? If I gotta handle my business, I don't want to talk to her brother, her daddy, or nobody else. Y'all was supposed to teach her to not bother me. She chose to bother me. I handle my business. There is no apology. Ain't nothing to talk about if you ask me. Okay, there's nothing to talk about. So see, the thing is, men have to accept what you want from other men. The same respect you want from other men, you got to give to other men. And when you use a family context, it can hurt sometimes. So if some woman comes up to you and starts trying to hit on you and you hit her back, the same way you thought you was protecting yourself, well, if your sister do that to some man, how can you say he can't protect himself? You got to respect other people, period. Now, where does that leave women? Because, a lot of women will hear this and say, well, man, he's saying like you shouldn't even protect your own sister. Well, it leaves them where they're supposed to be. It leaves them in a place where it's smart for them to go figure out a man who's willing to protect them. It leaves them in a place where they should have an understanding that if you go bother men, bad stuff can happen to you. And don't look for me to come running to your rescue when you out there doing stuff you ain't got no business doing. Because it is not my job to protect you from creating nonsense in the world. That ain't my job. I have no interest in doing that as a job. It's that simple at the end of the day. I don't care who you are to me. I'm never going to have a daughter that I'm going to be okay with her going out in the world bothering people and people not responding to what she's doing. I cannot say that as a man because I'm not going to let some woman do anything she wants to me. So even if it's my own daughter, I can't break the rules for her either. It is what it is. I got to give other men respect the way I want other men to respect me. It's that simple at the end of the day. How women feel about that is of no concern to me. Y'all, that's called being a man. Men have to make difficult choices. We can consider women sometimes, but we also have to understand there'll be some times where what a woman feels about something can't register. Because what I'm saying a lot of women wouldn't like, that cannot register to me, because I can't have my daughter out here acting a fool toward men. Because somebody could kill her. You know, and y'all can say whatever you want. Well, I'll go get this and I'll go do that. Your daughter dead, though. And whatever you do ain't finna bring her back. That's the reality. See, I live in the real world. I don't live in that fake one. I live in the world where I would want my daughter to be alive. You know, sure, you can go, quote unquote, get somebody back for your daughter's honor. My daughter's still dead, though. I would prefer she just be alive, which means she can't act the fool in public. It is what it is. All right. I'm not going to raise my daughter to be a defective woman. All right. Now, women have a lot of different issues going out. And a lot of us, we just don't want to come to the conclusion that they're defective. Because if you weren't defective, why aren't you married? Okay. Yeah, I get it. A lot of women buy into feminism. Are you willing to change, though? Because let's keep it real, y'all. Up to this point, I've only seen one woman who truly says she changed. I recognize what I did wrong. I don't want to live that type of way no more. I want to be different. Now, she is the darling of the channel. Y'all know her as Trust. She is the only woman that I can think of that ever came out and publicly said, you know what, I was wrong. I was listening to some stupid stuff. I'm going to change who I was as a person, how I present myself to me. She's the only one I heard say that. At least I can think of right now. Maybe some other woman said, I can't think of them right now. Okay. Sister George did say she wanted to get better. I will say that. Sister George did say she wanted to improve. I will say that. But the average woman, they're defective and not trying to correct themselves. See, a lot of men worry about how we gonna correct them. A lot of times you just got to put them in a place where they can correct themselves. And it is what it is. And you cannot worry about the outcomes of people who made poor choices. It's not your job. All right. Men talk about women not cooking and cleaning. And I see women saying they not going to cook and clean. Not for no man. My thing is, okay, that's cool. You ain't got to cook. I ain't tripping. You just not going to be here. I'm never going to tell a woman she got to cook unless you want to be with me. Now, if you want to be with me, yeah, you got to cook. So when a woman said, well, I ain't cooking for no man, I don't care. Because I'm not going to be the man involved in that scenario anyway. That's why I don't care. Now, people say, well, the reason some women act the way they act is because men are giving them too much slack. It is natural for a woman to try to see how much she can get away with. That's a very natural thing. Okay, it's a very natural thing. They gonna pull it, as they say. All you gotta do is tell your woman where the boundaries are, and all you gotta do is say what you mean and mean what you say. So yeah, I ain't gonna never beg no woman to cook for me. You just ain't gonna be here so I'm not concerned with you cooking. You're not even here for me to have a thought on if you're cooking or not. You're not gonna be here. Okay? You're not gonna be here. You're not gonna be present. A woman, if she dressed inappropriately, okay, she won't be seen with me. It is what it is. Now I'm not gonna tell no man on how he gonna let his woman dress. He can do what he wants. And the reason I say that, y'all, because I respect you're gonna actually pay the penalty for that. If you tell your woman she can go out and dress in all sexy as she want to, you're gonna pay that penalty, not me. My woman wouldn't be allowed to do that. My woman has to have a level of class to her no matter what she has on. Now, if you let your woman dress like a trashy woman and you let your woman be a target, that's your business at the end of the day. And when you come home and see, your woman having a train ran on her, my thing is, why you tripping? You the one told her she could be out there like that. Why you tripping? You know? It's cool, man. It's cool with me anyway. It's cool with me that your woman got a train ran on her. That's cool with me. My woman can't dress like that, so we gonna she gonna have to deal with the fact that her man don't want her out there where some guys will even try to run a train on her. Now, my woman is gonna be, my goal is to have her looking different. I want my woman to be looked at as the woman that we don't even try to run a train on her. We respect her. We know she at a level. I just can't come with any old silly mess to her. That's how I'm gonna want my woman to present herself. If you want your woman to present herself in a less than that way, that is your business. Because see, I ain't your daddy. I ain't gonna tell you how to make your woman dress. You gotta do that for you. All right. And some men do have a point to prove it, and they want their woman out there, and they want everybody looking at their woman for whatever their reason it is. A lot of this does come from we were raised. And y'all, I'm not saying this as an insult to y'all. I'm just saying what the truth is. A lot of men were raised to be girls. You wasn't even raised to be a woman yourself. You were raised to be a girl, meaning you were raised to let women get away with all types of nonsense and not question it. Now, let's just do a little bit of thinking. In an American society, what group of people are the people that, for the most part, should just accept what they're told, do what they say without question, and never really even think too hard on the subject?
Black man.
See, a lot of people, your mouth. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
I said the answer is black man.
Well, I'm gonna say your mind really should go to children, and when you go to children, who's the group that really shouldn't be having too much of a fuss about stuff and more doing what they're told? That's gonna be girls. Now, I am gonna say this: a lot of black men were raised to be a girl. Now, I'm not saying that as an insult to any man. I'm just saying something that you should be able to recognize. You were raised to be a girl. Now, what you do about that is on you. Okay? What you do about that is on you. I'm not saying you have to be a girl just because you was raised to be a girl. You can comport yourself as a man if you so choose to. But you were raised to be a girl. Meaning what? You let women get away with anything they want, just like a girl would do their mom. So yeah, you don't question what your woman goes out. I don't into when she leaves the house. You don't question how she's dressed. She dressed how she wants to. She don't have to represent you. You don't get to say anything to her. And I get what you were saying with that, but I'm gonna say when you think about that, that's the same concept of a girl. A girl don't get to question her mama on how she left the house. If a girl question her mama how she left the house, she automatically in the wrong. If you're a black man and you question your woman on how she left the house, if people think you're automatically wrong, they're looking at you as something's wrong because you were raised to be a girl, not a man. You got to think about that. And are you going to let other people dictate how you're going to live your life because they want you to act like a girl? Now, I've said before, I've ran into problems in society because I don't act like no girl. And that makes certain people uncomfortable. That's not my problem. It's that simple to me. That ain't my problem. They're going to have to get over it. Because I'm not going to go to acting like a girl to make them comfortable. Because I don't want to be a defective man. Okay? You have a lot of women who say they don't want struggle love. I don't want to have to build with no man. Okay? I want him to have everything before I get there. Yeah, that's called a defective woman. See, in reality, you get with a man and you build a life with him. That's how you have a marriage that lasts 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You got to get with somebody early. How you going to wait till you 82 to get with a man and have a long marriage? Like that don't even that don't make sense, okay? Now I know 82 is extreme. Okay, let's take 20 years off that. Okay, if you 62, are you going to have a great life with somebody? No. You could be 62 and get married for the first time, That should be something where a spouse has died, though. But you don't get with somebody at 62 to build a life together. You get with somebody for companionship. If you get married at 62, that's about companionship. Y'all already built lives with other people. Now you single again, and you're gonna have some companionship until some more latter years. That's what you're doing at 62. All right, let's take 20 years off that. Let's go to 42. I'm not looking to build a life with somebody at 42. You're supposed to already be in the process of that at 42. Okay. See, a lot of people, we have defective women out here, y'all. And if you listen to a lot of black women, they are literally 42 years old, still trying to build a life with a man. Why aren't you already in the process? You 42. I told y'all the first time I heard the concept of 40-year-olds having trouble dating, I literally burst out laughing because the concept of a 40-year-old woman dating sounded crazy to me. Why? Because at 40 years old, you're supposed to already be married, probably have all the kids you're going to even have by that particular point. 42, if you ain't already closed the shop down, you should be on your way. Now, maybe you one of them people that have a whole bunch of kids. Maybe you have 17 kids. I get it. Okay. But at 42 years old, you're supposed to be shutting down shop. It's supposed to be over at that point. Y'all supposed to be raising children you already have with your husband. But if you're dating at 42, you got to accept that I'm defective some kind of way and I need to get myself fixed. It's that simple at the end of the day. Okay, it's that simple. Y'all, now we got a new guy coming up. I'm gonna cover the screen. I think everything's fine. I don't feel no bad vibes or anything like that, y'all. I think we good. So I'm just gonna cover the screen for a second. And we gonna hear the brother out. I'm assuming it's a brother. We have MD coming to the stage, y'all. MD is coming to the stage. I'm gonna let you have the mic. If you don't know, you got a 2-minute opening statement, and you can start any way you like, my brother.
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me on the show. I've been on YouTube for a while, since 06, many different channels, and I've seen how it's changed in the last, say, 15 years. The dating relationship thing is on fire, basically. And being, I'm not old, but I'm not young, and I've seen a lot with this thing about women trying to sell themselves when they're older, after they've been through a lot. And now when I look at it, the younger guys aren't really having the opportunity to date the younger women that they want to date. The guys that are mid-range, say 35 to 50, are basically with this plague. I don't know if that might be too harsh of a word. Like when I saw the title of your live stream, Defective Women, it caught my attention. So I said, I looked at it for a little bit, saw you had the StreamYard link, and decided to hop on.
Well, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome to come. We like new people. We like new people. What you got anything else you want to say as an opening statement, or you want to allow it to keep flowing from that?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we can flow. Yeah.
Okay. Because I just want to be clear. You know what I'm saying? Because you're new, so I don't know you like that. All right. Now this is the thing. I think the issue is just a lot of men. We haven't come to the thought process of the women just defective. Because I was just mentioning somebody 42. Now we go 20 years down. We talking about somebody who's 22. Okay, that's a great age for a woman to be getting married and starting a family. You've had your 18th birthday by this point. You should have got your high school diploma at that point. Now you have choices that you can make, because women can do the same choices that are out there for men. And I'm talking about people that are 18 years old and they have their high school diploma. Now, if you didn't get your high school diploma, you went back and you got your GED, that's fine. That's the high school diploma equivalent. So what do you have a chance to do at that point? You can further your education by going to college or some trade school. That's what men should be doing as one of their choices. But women can also do that. It's not like it's closed to them. You, as a man, you can go join the military, which women can also do. It's not closed to them. You can also go get a job if you want. which women can also go get a job too. So, we make a lot of excuses for women as if they can't do stuff. And I don't see what they really can't do, because they can go get a job too. Or you can have the choice of starting a business. And now with technology and things like that, it's just even easier to start a business now. So you can go start a business. And I'm not saying everybody's going to be a great, successful business person. What I'm saying is, if you 18 years old and you got your high school diploma, you have 4 prominent choices in front of you, and it's up to you to figure out which one you want to choose. Because you can go get a job, you can go start a business, you can join the military, or you can further your education by going to some type of trade school or college. You have choices. But women have all these choices available to them too. Plus, they can also just meet a man and become a housewife. Now, it is unrealistic for a man to go out with the concept that he can become a house husband. That's an unrealistic thing in this country. So I'm not going to act like the average man can go out and become a house husband. But the average woman can go out and become a housewife. So why aren't they picking one of the things that we do as men, or becoming a housewife? It's because they're defective. See, a lot of women don't understand it is their job to convince some man in society to be okay to take care of them. That's what she got to do. She got to convince a man that it's okay for me to spend my money on you and not regret it. It is okay for me to go to somebody's job and work overtime so you can get that dress you want. It is okay for me to pick up these extra shifts because my baby need a car. I can't have her out here on the bus. She needs to be under my protection. So yeah, maybe she's on the bus at this moment, but I'm gonna put this overtime in so I can get her a car. I'm gonna just come up with 10,000 cash, go to the car lot, and get her something decent. That's cool. However you go about getting your woman protected is a fine thing. I'm never gonna bother man for what he has to do to protect his woman. But women are defective because they don't even understand their job is to get with their man and be a helpmeet to him. How you gonna help me if you ain't even trying to be on the same mission I'm on? How you gonna help me? Because y'all, we get it. Some women come out here, well, I got my own house, I got my own job. I don't need no man. Well, how can you help me? If your mentality is that you don't need a man, which is fine, because I'm not gonna say women need us. We as men have gotten society to a place where they really don't need us. I'm not saying that should be the case, but we give away enough stuff that the women can live without us. And I know that's a shot to some men's ego, but we got to realize what we have did as a group of men. Now, really, the men controlling this stuff is usually white men. White men put them in a position where they quote unquote don't need us. And my thing is, I'm fine with not being needed. I don't care. I don't want you desperate anyway. I'm not vacuuming the streets to find a desperate woman that has to depend on me for every and all things. No, that should be a choice. She should depend on me for anything from a mankind level because that's what she chooses to do, not because that's what she got to do. I don't need a prisoner. I want somebody who want to be there at the end of the day. But women are defective. They don't even understand they're supposed to make me want them to be around. Now, how can you be good for me if you don't even get that you're supposed to make me want to have you around? That's a defective woman. Yep. In society, women work because they choose to. And a lot of women work because they're too ugly to have a husband. Some of that ugly is physical, but most of that ugly is mental. Or you could say spiritual, or a combination of the two. But most of it ain't got nothing to do with physical. Most black women are not too ugly to have a husband because of what they look like. They're too ugly to have a husband because of who they happen to be. Go ahead, MD. You was finna say something.
Yeah, it has literally. I didn't mention this in the beginning. I don't want to just come off, like promoting or whatever, but it led me to, I've been an author for many years, and I wrote on the subject.
Let me throw this. Since you said the word promote, let me say this real quick. I have a general rule: we don't mention other content creators that haven't come to my shows. But if you join my show, I don't mind you promoting your stuff. If you got something you want to promote, that's fine. Okay, so knock yourself out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I wrote a book a few years ago about it wasn't titled Defective Women. But the title was a little too strong. Like I wrote it on Amazon called Nightmare on Sperm Street. And it's a very scientific book. It's about, it's about how, people, I mean, they really tried to go at me. And I said, look, I just presented science. I put all the links to the studies. And I said, women retain part of all of the men they ever been with. Now, I'm not saying nothing bad about them. I also wrote The Dating Circus, and that's why, I have that on my name. Because I said dating is like a circus today. She tries to be like a ringmaster, and you got guys that play the part of the clown or the strong man or the human cannonball that fires himself across the country to go on business trips. Or somebody said nightmare on what? Nightmare on Sperm Street. I was making it into the the Freddy Krueger.
He knew what you said. He's just joking.
And people got mad. I should have. Maybe I should have had a lesser, not as the title, because colleges and stuff were a little afraid of it. But what I presented evidence that was hardcore to say, look, they've done autopsies on female bodies that were as old as 103 years old. People that have died, centenarians, and they found Y chromosomes in the brain, in certain organs, and they didn't have sons. So as I backtracked it, I said, okay, when a woman takes on a man, we are made to imprint on a woman. And these women that, like how you're saying, in their 40s, and now, it seems like they have mental problems. It's like a defect, saying, all right, why do you act like this? Like 25, 30 or more partners from your past is not a problem, because when we are with a woman, we have a thing called pair bonding. Hormones, pheromones, imprints get on a person, and this is why you see people together and they actually want to be together, because she pair bonds with this guy. When she does that too many times, now she cannot pair bond. We get a natural dopamine reward when we see a face that we like. So the woman that we like, when we come home from work, when we get a reward when we see her. She comes up, kisses us, maybe engages in sexual action right when we walk through the door, but it's a genuine thing from attraction on a chemical level. When she does this with too many men, and especially if she does it in one night, if she's had one night stands, then the guy she eventually is with, she cannot pair bond with. They'll say, women have told me, oh, they want to get married, but they don't want to be a wife. They want to have a child, but they're not ready to be a mother. And then if they have a child from somebody else, now it goes to the next level of Nightmare on Sperm Street, because when they're gestating that child, the fetal cells are going through her body to eventually create milk so the child can have food. So it will, fetal cells will go to the breast and create lactation for when the child is born. Now, those cells will be in her forever. So she has the father's cells from his semen, other men she's been with, the child's fetal cells. And if that man has a child with her, those cells from that previous child, a small amount will be in the younger sibling. Now, this is just clear-cut science, saying like if you have a glass and you pour milk in the glass, it will have the residue of the milk, just the way the uterus in the body will have the residue of the previous children.
Oh, we are very much aware of these things, so we wouldn't argue with you at all on these things. And the reason I went ahead and just let you say it, because there's always going to be new people at times. And I'm a person, I've had channels that have been messed with for a while, so I ain't gonna even go into how many channels I've had. But yeah, we definitely rock with you on that. And my thing is this: at some point in time, we as men, we have to learn to recognize when women have become defective. Now, I've said if a woman is 36 and up, she's what we call a UO, a UOF. Okay, because UFO very easy to unidentified flying object. You hardly ever see a UOF. Okay, I mean a UFO. You hardly ever see a UFO. A UOF is around all the time. What are those? Those are unwanted old feminists. That's all you got. She's 36 years old. She's an unwanted old feminist at that point. That's all it is to it at the end of the day. At 30 years old, she is a certified loser. Not saying she wasn't a loser early in her life, but she's certified. You 30, you ain't never been married, you definitely a loser at that point. And a lot of men need to start treating the women. If you want to deal with a woman who has these problems, because I'm not saying what a man can and can't do it, you're gonna have to understand what it is that you're dealing with. If she's 36, you got a UOF on your hands, move accordingly. You're gonna have to make her face what she's been doing wrong and see if she's willing to make changes from her messed up past. At the end of the day, if she can't acknowledge what she does don't work, then there's no point in you really even trying to press anything forward with her. If she's 30 years old, if you can't get a woman at 30 years old to accept that she is a loser, how's she ever gonna be a winner? Because one thing that we as men should really understand about losing is that is some of the most helpful things that you could ever do to become a winner. How do you lose a basketball game and don't learn nothing, but you're gonna win the next one? How you lose a football game, don't learn nothing, but you're gonna win the next one? You can say it for anything. You gonna play chess with somebody, lose the game, don't learn nothing, but you're gonna win the next. We know that doesn't make any logical sense. So now I'm a person that says black men do need to be more confrontational, because confrontation is not negative. It just means you're addressing something. If a woman is 30 years old and I cannot confront her about the fact that she is a loser that needs to change, why would I waste my time trying to get anything done with her? That makes no sense to me. That's like me betting on a team. The coach keep losing. The coach don't want to teach nobody nothing. He don't want to watch no tape to figure out what the team lost, and I'm gonna bet on that coach again. I'm not ever betting for your team if you don't want to learn anything. You play a professional sports and ain't nobody gonna ever practice. You just gonna show up on the game Sunday and you gon' that is unrealistic. And we need as a people to be more confident about confronting things that will make our people better. So at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to accept that black women are defective, treat them as defective women, and then we can usher in some kind of change. Now, that does not mean you have to be with one, because I know there's some guys that, well, man, just let them go. I'm not even telling you you're wrong. If a black man dates anybody other than a black woman, that is black women's fault. And that's what black men also need to accept. It is your women's job to get your attention so you'll feel comfortable taking care of them. As men, we don't ask women to take care of us. And women don't even want to sign up for the job anyway. So I don't have to worry about how a woman's going to feel about this. Is she willing to do something to show me that I can be comfortable taking care of her? Because I already know she's not comfortable taking care of me. See, I'm a man. I don't live in this fake world. And I know a lot of men want to say, well, no, my woman, quote unquote, takes care of me. No, she don't. Your woman is in a situation where she's comfortable with that situation at this particular time. But if something happened to you and you could no longer perform as a man the way you can now, more than likely your woman is going to leave you. That is just the truth. And people can feel whatever they want to feel about it. I understand if I was in a bad car accident and I could not walk anymore, or I couldn't move my arms, if I become a quadriplegic, is my woman going to leave me? Not that I would want that to happen, but if I just go by numbers, more than likely she gone. It is what it is. I don't get to live in this fake world to say, no, she gonna be there no matter. No, that is not how women actually operate. You try to find one that's gonna do that, but more than likely she is not going to do that. And that's just being real. Now I'm gonna let Lena. I'm gonna wow. UOF has come up. Whatever y'all name it, that's what I call you. So she took the name UOF today. You have the mic, my sister. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing, Roger? I just find it weird. Like how is it just the women's fault. I think it's both men and women fault. Like why marriage is like declining, and you keep saying that women are defective. Maybe it's the men that are defective. Like if we're supposed to be able to pick first, first men are the leaders. But yet it's our fault if we pick wrong. Well, shouldn't you have led the women to the right decision? And then if women are so like defective and she doesn't want, shouldn't there be something like an incentive? Like, oh, okay, we should both get married. This is the goal. We're gonna follow this. If you're the leaders, you should be able to sell it where women would want to follow. Or am I wrong? And I know I'm about to get dragged in the chat, but
Yes,
hey,
you
I'm just asking as a UOF.
Of course you're wrong. It's not my job to make you want to follow anything. You're an autonomous person. I don't make you want to follow anything. You go pick what you like. Whatever you like to follow, that's what you follow. So if you pick wrong, it's because you like wrong. They ain't got nothing to do with a man. A man is who he is. That's his job. His job is to be himself and pursue whatever he believes his mission is that he's supposed to pursue. You pick different men who have different attitudes, different dispositions, different jobs, different businesses, different military experiences. Whatever you pick, you're supposed to be comfortable being led by that man. If you're not comfortable being led by the man you pick, you're automatically wrong. How can I go to work? Let's say for Pepsi, y'all. I apply for a job at Pepsi. Pepsi give me the job. I don't want to deliver pop. I don't want to sell pop. I just applied for Pepsi. What is Pepsi? They like the number 2 pop in the world, I think. But I don't want nothing to do with pop. I don't want to do no numbers on pop. I don't want to do no accounting on pop. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have nothing to do with pop at all. Who wrong? Is Pepsi wrong for selling pop, or am I wrong for applying for a job that I do not want to perform?
Applying for a job that you do not want to perform, but you blamed it on black women for not being the choice that men want. So
Hold on. If a black woman wants a man to take care of her, to be in her corner, to protect her, provide for her, love her, whatever she wants out of life, if she wants a black man to do that, how is she supposed to get that done?
and she's gonna have
Exactly.
to. But the same with the men. So you can't say it's both fault.
No. It is no same. You're not going to protect me. You're not going to provide for me. You're not going to make sure I'm okay. I already know that going in the door.
That's not
So it ain't the
necessarily
same.
true. That's not necessarily true.
No. But the
Okay,
vast
Roger,
majority is
let me
true.
slide through right quick. What do black men generally ask from black women?
I want to say is lately, from what I'm hearing, is submission.
Okay, that's one. What else?
Um, I would go with. I really feel or think that most of them are going with the Kevin Samuel narrative
So what?
from you know
Give me the
No.
answer.
fit, feminine, and friendly.
Okay. Oh, they fit.
No. Now he asked you a real question because you just said that. So now he asked you about it. Are they
That's what I
fit? Is what he asked.
think.
Well, no.
That
You just offered that as an answer. So you said fit, feminine, friendly, and he asked you, are
Mhm.
they fit? So what's your answer to that?
Most of them aren't fit. I would say, if you look statistically,
No,
most of them.
hold on. You ain't got to explain it. My thing is, you offered this as an answer. You could have said anything you wanted to say, but you chose to say that. Are they friendly?
I would say yeah.
Really?
To men?
No. Are they fit? Yes or no?
Yes, I
No.
think
She
most of them.
Most black
Most of them
women
are
are fit.
friendly. No,
Most
no, they're
black
not.
women are fit. Is that
No,
what you're saying?
no. I
Okay.
said no.
Okay. Fine.
are.
Are they
Do you?
friendly?
Do you?
I say
She
yes.
said.
Most
She
black women are
okay.
friendly.
No, hey,
Yes to me.
that's her opinion. That's her opinion. She
Are
said
you
yes.
sure?
She ain't finna change.
Yes.
She's not finna change that. She just stuck it. You know, that's her story. She's sticking to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Roger out here running interference. All right. Okay.
Well,
No, I'm
The
not running
more, the
interference.
more
That's her
important,
story.
the more important question to ask her would be: does she think the majority of black men think black women are?
Boom. Okay, that's what the wisdom come through right at the right time. So, can you get an answer to that question? Do you believe most men see black women as friendly?
It's friendly.
Mm.
I think reality, yes. I think black. If you're saying black men or just men in general,
The
Black
black men.
men.
I think black
I
men think
said
most
black
black.
men.
I think most black men think black women are friendly overall.
Okay, all right. And do you think most black men see black women as feminine?
In a way, when I mean feminine, I think we're fake feminine. Like our
So the
feminine is
answer is no. Then.
artificial, like fake nails, fake hair. When I think of feminine
So that so
presentation,
fake means no. I can get fake muscles; they're not real. So no one's going to see me as a muscular man if I'm always wearing some fake muscle suit.
uh,
So the answer is no. Now, again, that's
I
what you
mean,
chose to respond
what's
to.
the evidence? What's the evidence that most black men think black women are friendly? Where's the what supports that in how we're living with each other, how we're interacting with each other, being with each other? I mean, what evidence is there that we think just in general that black women are friendly?
I think in general, black men believe black women are friendly, like interaction. They know that they can always get help from black women. Love, support somewhere. Majority statistic: black men are statistically more likely to be with black men. So I think they know to come to black women. Like they're most likely to date a black woman. So that's why I feel like they at least like our
Hold
personality,
fast,
like they think we're nice.
hold fast. Because my thing is, people can use numbers in a way slickly. Most black men are not statistically with black women. Most black men are statistically single. No, black they pick black women if they pick a woman, but truth be told, most black men ain't picked a woman because we have not married a woman. Now, I'm
Oh,
gonna
so
say
you're
how
going by
most black
marriage
men try.
statistics.
Not that's the only statistic we can verify. We can't verify stuff that don't leave no markers. Now, at the end of the day, most black men are trying to be with a black woman. I'll give you that. And I can tell that because most black men ain't married and most black women aren't worth marrying. So those are consistencies. You see what I'm saying? Most black men ain't married, which is also consistent with most black men want to marry a black woman, and most black women aren't worth marrying. All that's very consistent.
And the majority of black men don't even have children. So when you consider that the majority of black men don't have children, and the majority of black men are not married, um, I mean, empirically, it's difficult to make a strong argument that black men genuinely believe black women to be friendly people. I mean, I think there's a lot of evidence that suggests the opposite. I think when you look at matriculation rates into social environments, into schools, all the data says that black men are flowing out of social connection with black women,
I
which
can
then would go against the argument that black men consider black women to be socially friendly.
I understand where you're going with that statistic, but I actually interpret that statistic a little bit differently. I understand because when I looked at it, it said 51% of black men currently do not have children. But you have to understand they do also add in as statistics people who are like in their 20s, even teenagers like 18, 19. But a lot of people,
How
a
old you
lot of
gotta be to have a
men,
kid?
huh?
How old you
But a
gotta be
lot
to
of
have a kid?
you could be 18, but the older you become, the more
I'm
likely
not
you are to
even
have the children. They said
no,
men,
I'm not even. I'm not saying an 18-year-old can't have kids, but I'm saying in your 20s is a good time to have children. That's like the
You have
right
a
time
kid
to
in
do
my
it.
20s. I mean, it could be for some. Some it could be 30s. I
No, no,
mean,
that is no. The 20s is the right time. You've already hit your 18th birthday. You're a
Yeah.
legal adult. You can actually go into the world and either further your education. You can go to the military. You can go get a job, or you can go start a business, and you can build a life together with some person. You got to meet a person, feel comfortable enough to have the life with the
The
person. You get
social
married. Boom, your 20s. You're having children. That makes sense.
Yes,
w-
and
I
also
mean, and the
when
social science says that the older the men get, the less likely they are to have children. When they're younger, they're much more sexually motivated and more hyped up in terms of their
oh
testosterone levels. So if they're gonna make children, it's much more likely to occur when they're younger. As they get older and get comfortable living without children, without a wife, etc., they're a lot less likely to then start families.
uh when I looked at statistics, they were saying that men in their 40s, for black men, they're more likely to have children. They said like 80% of black men in their 40s have children. So the idea is that the older they get, the
That's
more
not what the
likely.
statistics. That's not what the statistics said. What the statistic says is through age 40, the men who have children, 80% of them by then will have children. Not all of men who are 40
Now they say
years
all
old.
80% of them have children.
Well,
No,
So
no,
my
no.
logic,
You got you're not getting it. It
you
says if
misread
you're
the
going to
statistic.
have a child by the
Yes.
age of 40 years old, that child would have been had already. That's
yes,
what it's saying.
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
That's
so
not
those
saying you're
two,
gonna have children. Hold on, listen, because you're not catching. That's not saying you're gonna have a child in your 40s. That's saying a 40-year-old man who's going to have
right?
children would have had them by his 40th birthday.
Right. So those children had, so people in their 20s, 30s, young black men probably haven't decided yet where they're going to have children. So that's the way I interpret it. So those 20-year-olds, maybe in about 5, 10 years, they might have a child. So 80%. So as the population get older, so you're counting people that's probably out in
You, you,
military or,
you don't understand what's being said. It's saying if you're going to have a child at all, ever in life,
hmm
that
Mhm.
child would have been had by your 40th birthday. That includes anybody that's under 40. It's not talking about 40-year-olds. It's saying if they're going to have children, by the time they're 40, the children have already been born. That's not
Mhm.
a statistic about 40-year-olds. That's a statistic about 39 years old and down.
yeah, and also
Oh, well,
the
so just
reason to
said
have children
black. Uh,
to
go ahead.
UOF. This question's to you or statement is that when you're in your 20s, right? That is the time to have the child because a woman loses 90% of her eggs by the time she's 30.
Mhm.
95% when she's 35. So if she decides to have a child when she's 30, 35 or older, not only is she not using the best of what she had, there's a lot of problems that she can incur. And then after the child is born at that age, the body has a hard time getting back into shape. When a woman has a child when she's younger, the body pops back into shape usually if she's eating correctly and exercising.
I agree, and most they say when I was in my child rearing age or whatever, they said 25 was like the best, but the younger, the more you are fertile. The younger you are, the more fertile you are as a woman, and the quality of the eggs are better. However, with men, basically men, they can have children whenever they still producing their factory, still working, but the sperm levels like go decline, the quality may go down, but they still are capable. However,
So what
what I was reading
basically
though, they
is what
said,
you look, what you're talking about is why it's biologically for a man not a good thing to go after old women. That's what you're basically saying. I don't know if you even realize you're
I
saying that or
agree
not.
with that. I mean, if you're still
So,
trying to have
so
children
if a
biologically,
guy
yeah.
wants a family, when does he want it? You think he want it in his 40s or you think he want it in his 20s? When it's great in your 20s, when everybody in the kitchen and everything working. You think you want to do it then, or you think you want to wait till he's 40, 50 years old and then start? Which one you think he
Therefore,
want to do?
I think he would want it. To me personally, if I was a guy, I would want it in my 30s. Just marry a woman 5 years younger than me.
Okay, I see what you on. And it's fine. I ain't gonna even worry about it. I ain't gonna even
I'm
worry about it.
wrong. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. I think 30.
all of,
I
no, no, no.
wouldn't want it if I was a guy.
It's
They always tell.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. The show is literally about defective women.
Oh,
It's fine. I promise you. I promise you. It's fine.
so,
Okay.
but also, what I was saying, the statistic was saying if they're saying when men are in their 40s, they say 80% of black men in their 40s have children. So they choosing to have children by
No,
the
that's
time before.
no. That statistic is saying of the men that had children, which is different than black men as a collective. It's talking about a group of men. The group is the men that had children.
The group of men that are in their 40s, 40-year-old black
Hold
men
on.
are more
Do you
likely to
understand?
have
No,
children.
hold on.
Can I
There's
ask
a
you
difference
something?
between black men that are 40 years old and above and black men with children that are 40 years old and above. Do you understand the difference of those two groups?
Yes, but they said black men as a collective. They didn't separate the group.
No, they was literally talking about black men that had children. If
No,
you
I
had
looked at.
children, the children would be born by 40 years old. That's different than saying a black man who's just in general. Because now you're talking about all men, all the black, everybody can included in that group of black. They're not talking about everybody in that group of black. They're talking about the black men who had the children. Those guys had their children before 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's a difference. That's two different groups. One, you're talking about a group as a whole. That was talking about a specific part of the group. You don't get that?
No, because what I read, it said all black men of all the black. They didn't separate the group, and this data they said
Can
black men. They
can
said
we
80% of black
can
men
you
in their
can you
40s have
can
children.
you reference can you reference the source? Because at this point we kind of, I mean, you're making the same argument over and over again. We know, we've seen the statistic and we know you're misquoting it, but at this point, you know, we're just kind of going in circles.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's okay. Believe what you want to believe. And
No,
see,
I might be wrong. Maybe let me reread it. I'm not
no,
saying
no,
that you're
no,
wrong. I'm just saying that's what I remember reading. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong.
no,
Like,
it's
I
cool.
really
It's
like
cool.
dragging.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna tell you this. This shows how black women are defective. When multiple people tell you you're wrong about something, and this was a hard lesson for me when I was a younger man. It came from my friend's father. He said, "Y'all walking around with whole computers in your pocket, and you won't even pull it out and check. All you gotta do is pull it out and check." He said I'm wrong. The other guy said I'm wrong. Let me just check real quick. Now maybe you
Mm-hmm.
are right. But what's the
Oh,
harm in
maybe I'm
checking?
right. I just said, yeah, I agree. Maybe I am wrong. I'm just saying that's what I was reading. I'm just explaining what I remember reading, but I could be wrong. I'm not
I
saying
get
that I am. Oh my God, I know. I just remember reading it that way, but I could be
and
wrong. I mean,
I'm and
being
I'm
wrong is
suggesting to
okay.
you,
Not everyone knows everything. People in the chat. I mean, y'all tracking me for nothing.
and
Like y'all never made a mistake.
I'm just throwing out a suggestion. If you
Oh,
find
I agree
yourself
with
in
you,
that
Roger. I would
scenario,
go ahead and look.
why
I'm
not
just
just
saying.
check real quick?
I agree. I agree with you, Roger. I'm not going to because I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. Not the first time. Probably won't be the last.
I do agree with that. I do agree with and that's not making a joke at you. I'm just saying that, yeah, who's gonna be right all the time? Because if you ain't Roger, you're not right all the time. No, I'm just kidding. But I would say, we do also have to consider when we come on public platforms, if someone says, no, you're wrong, you might want to just check real quick. I understand you want a conversation, keep going, depends on how things are going. But y'all, I've done that with people. They say something, I just check real quick, just to make sure I'm on point. It's nothing wrong with checking real quick to see if you're on point. Now I'm gonna say this. when did you find, since you here, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Black Uru because you really didn't make no opening statement, Black Uru. But I'm just say, since you here, when did you figure out it was a woman's job to convince a man that it should be good for him to make sure she's taken care of? When did you figure that out? Did you figure out that it's a man has to make a decision to say, I want her to make sure she's taken care of? When did you figure out a man has to make that decision?
That he's supposed to take care of me and make sure I'm okay.
For you
I
to
don't
be
think it's,
okay in a relationship with him, he has to decide that you are worthy of being taken care of.
ah, I never looked at it like that. I'm sorry. I guess I'm slow. Maybe that's why I'm defective. I looked at it like, okay, I'm looking for a loving partner. We work together. We both take care of each other. I also got to feel like
Okay,
I want to take care of my partner. Like two become
real quick.
one. I think of
No, no,
biblically,
no.
kind of.
Real quick. Real quick. Would you marry a man without a job?
No, absolutely not.
Would you marry a man that you know maybe inside the marriage within 2 to 5 years he may stop working and may never work again? Would you marry a man and you knew that's a real possibility that somewhere
No,
within
not if
two to
he's
five
not.
years he may
Not
never
if
work
he's
again?
not if he's not financially secure. No.
No, no, no. I ain't saying he come from money at all. Ain't no money he came from. He just a regular dude, had a regular job, and in 2 to 5 years he may quit that job and never go back to work again. Are you comfortable with that?
No.
Okay, every man got to be comfortable with that to even get married. So just chill for a hot second. Maybe you can think about that for a moment and figure out why I just said that. This is something every man has to consider before he marries a woman. And then Black Hole, can you make a legitimate opening statement, sir?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you and folks on the panel are doing well. I wish your brother was it MD was still on the panel because he was discussing the subject of what they call it, microchimerism or whatever, or the effects of sperm residue, I guess, within the bodies of women. Because if you really think about what he's describing, he's in this modern feminist environment. He's describing an irreparable scenario. I mean, if all of the women are essentially tainted by myriad myriad varieties of sperm from other men, I, I mean, to say that they are defective is like a gross understatement of what we're talking about here. We're talking about a disastrous biological scenario, right? I mean, essentially, there is no, I mean, if what he described is true, considering how sexually liberated we've been and for generations as such, there really is no resolution of the situation within this environment, certainly within like America. They're all kind of tainted. Am I overstating the problem, or that, like I say, that's why I wish your brother was still on the panel, because I came up to kind of really sort of investigate what his research had discovered, because it really seems to he really seems to be describing a situation that it's sort of an irrevocable situation. Maybe I'm being extreme, but my God, I mean, because when you hear about the levels of sexual activity and frequency, and then you add to it all STD rates and et cetera, it's just like a biological cataclysm that maybe we're really kind of under recognized. in terms of its severity. Like I said, I wish his
Y- y-
brother was still on the panel because he had done the studies on it. It'd be interesting to really kind of go deeper into what we're really dealing with here.
Well, I'm gonna say shout out to MD for coming up and welcome to the show. It was his first time coming. And MD, if you're still listening and you can't come back up, there's an invitation for you, my brother. There's an invitation for you because the science behind the job. And see, I mean, you say, am I going too far, Black Rule? But see, this is the thing. Is it too far if it's scientifically backed? I can't say what's too far because I just accept the truth is the truth. So truth is sometimes ugly, but if it's the truth, you need to accept it and just understand that this is part of the world that you're dealing with. Because as men, especially black men, if we don't accept what the truth is, we gonna usually end up dead, homeless, or we gonna end up in prison. So ain't might well accept it is what
Well,
it is at the end of
here's
the
a
day.
question. Here's a question I have, and the woman, young lady being on the panel, was reference to the whole issue of love and this sort of voluntary kind of. I don't put as much stock in the romantic notions of love as maybe as younger people do. I do think any kind of enduring relationship is going to be codependent to a substantial degree, and even including a, a definite level of concern about the potential loss of the other party. I think a woman has to be genuinely concerned about losing the man in order for that relationship to endure over the long term. I don't put much stock at all in female love. I think it's very mercurial change, in between, issues regarding resources and hormones and childbirth and all these things. All that stuff could change substantially with a woman. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into love from women. For men, I do, because for men tend to create a sort of ideal that will endure. But with women, I think because they can change so much, I don't put. If he is not dependent on you to some substantial degree, whether it's definitely financial and or social status, uh, or some combination of those. Um, Maybe children, although obviously that'll change as the children get older and become dependent themselves. Maybe sexual, although of course that'll change as well over time. If there isn't some real kind of, and of course the financial, there's some real kind of holding her to you and some degree of desperation and concern about the potential loss of that, then her so-called quote love will not endure over the long.
I actually agree with you to a certain extent. Only reason why I agree because they statistically said that people who are involved in arranged marriages have the most long lasting marriages. And my grandmother, in a way, was in an arranged marriage. I guess okay. I guess I'm telling on myself. Maybe could be my grandmother was married 3 times. The first one was an annulment. She married all like based on like feelings, love. The second one, her friend, hooked her up with her brother, love, and it didn't work out. And then her third one was arranged. She married her friend from college. She's like, I had to get away, and he needed a wife, I needed a husband, and I knew him, and it wasn't even love. It's like, let's just get married. And that was the husband that she grew
It's,
to love.
that's not an
But it was
arranged marriage.
arranged. You arrange
That's
is
not
like
an arranged marriage with third parties show two people bring two people together, and then the two people get married. Yours was a look. I mean, the last one, it was different. It wasn't an arranged marriage. I'm not saying it was bad, but
not
it just wasn't.
traditional
Doesn't
arranged
fit under
where
the
the
arranged.
family picked based upon, but it was like it wasn't love.
They just
They
happened to marry.
arranged it right. I'm
They
agreeing that
had
it
an
isn't
agreement.
love. It
They
was
had
some
an
type of
agreement.
status dependency, like he
It
said.
wasn't arranged. It was agreed upon. And I'm not saying that
Oh,
an agreed upon means
that's a good way to look at
but
it.
it just not. Yeah, it just wasn't an arranged. I don't, and I'm
It
just saying this
wasn't
because I don't
arranged
want.
in the traditional sense where
It
we
just wasn't
say,
arranged. Period. On my show, I do the best I can that we do not put out false narrative. That's just not what an arranged marriage is. It was something that two people agreed upon, which is fine. It just was not an arranged marriage, and I'm not gonna let
yeah,
that go because I don't want to put out false narratives.
I
And
see what
that's
you're
all it is to it.
saying. Like the
Yeah, that
traditional,
just
yeah, like third party, like they never read sometimes, like, okay, two families get together, like, hey, your daughter should marry my son, like that. I see what you're saying.
somebody else is doing the picking on an arranged marriage. The husband or the wife, neither one of them picked the mate. A third party picked the mate, and that's what an arranged marriage is. What they did is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't want to put out a false narrative, you know. So I mean, I think that was probably the most sensible choice she probably made based on how you described it. Probably was a good sensible choice, which is why it worked. You know, now, and I think people should make sensible choices like that. It makes sense to me, you know. But I would say for the fact that these are not common things, this shows that black women are defective. Because the things that make sense to do, they generally don't want to do, have no interest in doing, it, and wouldn't do, plus would encourage others not to. Now, if you had an item that did the exact same thing in any other scenario, wouldn't you call it defective? You know, it, that's what you do to stuff that don't work in way that it was supposed to be working in. Okay, if I can't use a hammer to hit a nail, what good is that hammer? Okay, and that hammer's defective. If I can't, put nails in the wall with the hammer, that's a defective hammer. At the end of the day, I don't care how you put it. But we got Kevin 3904 here. So Kevin, I'm gonna assume you're ready because I seen your mute flash in and out. So I'm assuming you're ready.
I'm ready,
So
boss.
you got the mic, my brother.
I'm ready. Hey, man. Good morning, to everybody. I really didn't come up earlier because you guys were having a good conversation with this young lady here, and she seems to be good for the show, and I don't want to interrupt that. What's your name? I don't want to mispronounce your name or anything like that.
You can call me UFO, or my real name is Lena.
Oh,
Morning, how you doing?
you are. Oh, good morning. Well, um, Um, you guys are making some pretty good points. I think she's good for the show, especially from a gynecologic viewpoint. And I think a lot of women will actually learn from the back and forth that you're having with us up here. That it'll help clarify some viewpoints. But as far as the title is concerned, most black men don't find black women to be friendly. We don't. If we did, we'd marry you. It's really that simple. Because all a black woman has to do is be nice and be friendly and cooperative, and a black man will marry her. It's easy for a black woman to get married. Most black women probably desire to get married, but they don't want to be wives. That's the problem that we're having. That's basically what Black Uru is explaining to us up here, and that we learn from him on a daily basis is like what our issues really are. Um, we're so far apart from having um, uh, just the basic fundamental foundations of marriage and family and understanding what the duty and responsibility of it is. It's crazy. And like Roger said, we have to consider that when we get married, you guys don't want to work. You guys don't want to work in the marriage. You don't want to work physically. You want to collect all the prizes from us and stuff like that. And then when it's no longer beneficial to you, you're out of there in a short period of time. That's it. Those are some of the main issues that we're having. So that's why we're having this discussion of defective women. I think we've lost sight of what marriage really is about, what it really means. And most women are getting married. That the ones that are getting married, they're just marrying people they like or people that make them feel good versus what's good for them. And that I'll end my plane right there. I don't want to go too far.
And I'm gonna say this, y'all. The The reason I asked her about taking care of a man where in 2 to 5 years he may never work again. This is a reality men have to face. I'm not even saying the woman is doing something wrong. You can marry a woman 2 to 5 years into the marriage, y'all may have y'all first child, and she may never go back to work. I don't know how many kids you're gonna have. Let's say you end up with 4 children. She may never go back to work. That is just a reality that men have to deal with. So at the end of the day, it is a woman's job to make sure that man is comfortable doing whatever he got to do to provide for that woman and that family, because that's his responsibility. Society understands that's his responsibility. Other men know that that's his responsibility. Ain't no, well, my wife just gonna have to struggle because I don't want to do nothing. He's not gonna be able to say that to nobody. The state ain't gonna let him say it. Other men ain't gonna let him say it. Nobody's gonna rock with that. Well, you just gonna let your wife suffer? Yeah, I'm gonna let her suffer. Ain't nobody cool with that at the end of the day. So, yep, he gonna have to pick up that extra shift. He's gonna have to figure out a way to balance his home life with trying to make that business get off the ground and take off. It's all got to happen, no matter what. And she may not ever go back to work. That is just a real thing. Now, you know, men may not necessarily want that to happen. I think most men are pretty much good with it at the end of the day, because it's not gonna really do too much on a man's ego, and men don't have an issue making sure their wife and their children are taken care of. So yeah, it ain't gonna be that much of a thing. But at the end of the day, this is a real consideration from every single man who gets married. And if you haven't considered these things as a man, you better start considering these things before you get married. You got to be okay with a woman who may never go out into the workforce again, because you don't
And
know what your situation is going to be.
And to add to that, it's like you said, it's not necessarily anything wrong with that. The issue comes in when you start wanting more than what's available. Like I don't mind working and taking care of my wife and so that she doesn't have to work, but you're gonna have to be content driving the car I can afford. You're gonna have to be content living in the domicile that I can afford. You're gonna have to be content with the clothes that I can afford. You can't get on Instagram and TikTok and see what everybody else is doing and decide you want that and want to jump ship because I can't afford that. These are the issues
Yeah.
that we're facing today. But go on, Roger.
You know, you
Yeah. No,
you
I just want to
UOF
say real quick.
UOF said
Go ahead, Black.
UOF said that we were supposed to support each other. And I wanted to ask her, I wish I could have asked her, wow, I mean, what does it mean for a woman to support a man? If she's not going to do what Roger was describing, she's not going to take care of a man financially, she's not going to protect a man. Obviously, she's not really capable of protecting a man. Then what kind of support is she really providing that he can both benefit from and but just as important, rely on over some real period of time?
I first real now.
Hold
Let
on,
me say this.
real quick, you all. This ain't about you. Before you answer the question, though, I want to say shout out to Privacy Online. Because I'm looking at the chat, y'all, and I can see Privacy Online comments, but they not popping up in the chat. I see them through the stream yard, but I don't see none of it popping up in the chat. Do anyone sees Privacy Online popping up in the chat at all?
I see it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I just, so y'all, so hold on real quick. Any mod down there, block Privacy Online from the channel then. Because if other
yeah,
people
because
can see it and we can't,
it's spamming
this is
over and over and over again.
look, it's somebody who probably blocked me thinking I wouldn't be able to see anything. And if they block me, they need to be blocked. It's that simple. You can't block me on my own. Well, I mean, if you got me blocked anywhere, obviously you're a problem. So y'all, whoever Privacy Online, I don't even, because I'm not gonna read the comments and I don't even care. If I'm blocked, we just gonna block them and leave it at that. So shout
Yeah.
out to Chef Mike. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's that simple at the end of the day. People do slick stuff all the time. Sometimes I don't even want to go into what slick stuff they trying to pull off. Okay, UOF, could you go ahead and answer that question? Thank you
Yeah,
very
I
much.
think women can support men, and I would like, let's say I love someone and like something happened to them, like um I'm married 5 6 years, and let's say they became a W amputee, or something happened to them where they can't work. I would take care of them because I would love them, and I know if they can't do what I'm gonna do, stop loving you because you were unable to do it. I know you would do it if you could, so I would go ahead and take care of my mate.
That's beautifully said, but we don't even
Okay, but
expect
but
that
well,
as
hold on.
men.
What's the likelihood of a man becoming a double amputee? I mean, a man is going to protect you every day of his life. A man is
Hmm.
going to pay most or all of the bills every day of his life. A man does not require you to become disabled to take care of you, to support you, to protect you.
But
A man
most
does not require some extreme. A man does not require some extreme event to occur in order for him to be supportive of you. So you took an extreme
I,
and very infrequent scenario to describe how you would support a man.
I know financially, like, um, you know, honestly, like even with everyday life, let's say I wouldn't expect a man to, especially in this economy, average man couldn't just go ahead and support a woman completely in this economy. It's something he can pay for. Like let's say, okay, you pay for the common bills and stuff. It's other expenses that a person creates that the average person just couldn't pay for. Let's say I racked up bills before. Like, is the man gonna pay my schooling that I paid for, or would he pay for like my medical bill? He can only pay for so much. So most men, most women work still, even whether they're married or not. And so, like in this economy, I can't see a man or even a woman just by themselves, they might struggle, but you wouldn't want your mate to struggle and just like, okay, yes, you go to work and I just stay here, especially if the kids are grown or something. You'd be like, oh, yes, I'm just stay here and you just work and I'm gonna lay on my butt. I'm just gonna keep the house clean. Most women still work.
So you're saying that the woman being able to work at her convenience is a support to men that men
Yeah,
need
take some of
and
the load
value?
off of him. Yeah, I think take the load off of the man. Like he doesn't have to pay all the bills by himself, like the mortgage or the light, or your wife is there helping you. You're in it together.
Yeah. Sounds good, but
But
we don't
but
trust you.
well, first of well, for one, we cannot necessarily rely on that, and especially over time, and especially considering that black women are much more likely to initiate divorce and to do so fairly early. So even if she is supposedly doing that at some point, there's a high probability that sooner rather than later she's going to stop, or that's going to change. So, I mean, even saying, well, how you support, but it's not really anything. When I asked you earlier, I specifically emphasized whether I can rely on you to do that. Do you recall my saying that or asking that?
Oh yes, that's true.
Do you
Could
recall
you
me?
rely?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you
And
rely on a
that's a
woman?
yes, and that's the fundamental issue. What kind of support at all can a man rely on from you? I mean, all the stats say I will not be able to rely on you over time.
I
That you
can't
may
argue
do
that.
something today. What's that?
I said I agree. I can't argue that. I can't argue
Right.
against it.
So that
Stats say that women do leave marriage.
that's why I said, materially, there really is nothing that going in, and maybe just go back to how black women are defective. Because if a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet and he can't rely on you for support and consistency and being true to him, then you have to be defective. You're biblically defective because you're not fulfilling your what you were created to be, and that is the helpmate to the men, right? If you're not the helpmate
And
to the
that's
men, you're defective.
and that's from the non-religious guy.
It is
True.
very
Just,
not.
You're supposed to be a helpmate according to the Bible.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
my bad for chuckling, but that sounds funny to me because it's
yeah.
coming
Well,
from the
yeah.
non-religious guy. But a good point. And I'm gonna say this too. When it comes to women working, let's be realistic about women working. When women go to work, very rarely, you know what I'm saying? Because there's got to be some good wives out there here and there. Very rarely does their money help a man pay any bill. Usually women work so they can have more bills. They work to have bigger bills. So then, you're putting more responsibility on the man because at the end of the day, if the bills don't get paid, everybody gonna look at the guy, nobody's gonna look at the woman. And you put yourself in position so the man gotta pay more money. Women don't usually help with bills. There are some good wives of yesteryear who they actually helped. They would go to work, put their money in the pot, and they get the bills paid. Nowadays, women ain't doing that no more. You as a man, like, okay, well, she needs to drive something. I just said an example earlier. We're gonna take $10,000, put it on the car so she can drive off. She don't want to do that. No, she got to drive a Benz. So no. I need this car note because I need to be seen in the Benz. So now what the man got to do? Now the man trying to work with her. Well, I'm working. I can pay the car note myself.
Right.
Okay, so now you got a Benz, you paying a car note. That money ain't help him do squat. The money
And
just
and
helped you floss.
I don't
and,
know.
and
I thought women do help with. I honestly, personally, don't know women who don't help. With their mate or husband, like pay the bills, like they're paying something
It,
like.
it, if if
But
you
then to be
create a
fair,
bunch
a
of
lot of times
bills,
I am
no, no,
looking at
hold
yes to
on, hold
you.
on, hold on. If you create a bunch of bills that have to be paid, and
Mhm.
then you get a job so you can pay the new bills that you created, you haven't helped the man.
right.
You,
And
you,
Let,
you
let,
understand
let
how
me
math
let me let
works?
me let me ask you a question. Are you married, man?
Oh no, I'm not married. I'm on my
Why
way
not?
to. Um, I've declined some people and I've made mistakes. I'm
Of
not gonna
course,
lie.
of course. They always decline.
well, one of the things I want to be clear here because it might feel like you get pepper shot a little bit. This is not about you. We're just telling you how we as men um experience you ladies, right? And
Mhm.
we're not speaking simply from individual standpoint. Like we're not telling you individual stories and stuff like that. It's like you're the attorney for women up here, and you're representing them. So we're speaking to you as their representative, and we are the prosecution for men, and we are
Mhm.
prosecuting this case to you and saying, listen, this is how we experience you. This is how my brothers experience you. This is how my nephews are experiencing you. This is how my friends. This is how we are not making this stuff up. We have collectively experienced you ladies this way. And this is the issue. This is why there's so much adversity between black men and black women. Women are really out here doing this stuff that we're telling you consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
want to say this too.
I'm still rather shocked, with all due respect, UOF. I'm still rather shocked that you actually believe that most black men think black women are friendly. I'm rather shocked. I'm
I
sorry.
think so.
Because I
I think
just
you're flabbergasted.
it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Okay, maybe this is a multiverse scenario where I'm seeing one Earth 616 and she's on Earth 837. I mean, because I don't think there are many black men, and the most majority of black men love black women. I don't think the majority of black men would say collectively that black women are friendly. I don't. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of interracial stuff and all this stuff is primarily because, in general, black women are perceived to not be especially friendly. So I kind of, I'm really kind of humorously surprised that that's what you actually think.
Mhm. I think
I,
both
I
of
do want to
them
say
think
this.
that.
I do want to say this because, like I said before, y'all, I've done the research, and I'm gonna say shout out to Kevin Samuels for saying fit, feminine, friendly. That's a good secondary piece. It's just secondary because he started saying that because I started saying what men actually want, which is they want loyalty, good character, good company. If you don't have all three of those, nothing else you give matters. Being fit, feminine, friendly is a good thing to get your foot in the door. Some guy will notice you, but come in there being fit, feminine, friendly, and don't be loyal. See what's gonna happen. Come in there without good character. See what's gonna happen. Come in there without being good company. See what's gonna happen. It ain't gonna work no way. That's just extra stuff you put on. But women have to learn to be loyal, to have good character, and to be of good company. Because as a man, there's no point in talking on any serious level with you if you don't have those three things. Who cares if you fit?
But here's here's
And
the
I
flip side. Here's the flip
oh,
side.
go ahead.
Here's the flip side of that, Roger. If you're not fit and friendly, I'm not going to even make it to the point of whether I can even assess your loyalty or your company. If you're not initially friendly, if you're not initially good looking, we're not going to even get to the point of whether or not I think you're loyal or good company. We're
No,
not
no,
going
no.
to
They're
even
not.
reach that point. So really,
I'm
those
not.
kind of
I'm not saying
all
the bad thing.
kind of work
Yeah,
companion qualities. Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's some primary things that just gotta be there. Fit, feminine, friendly is things that help.
Yeah.
Everything beyond
Yeah.
loyalty, good character,
I,
good
I,
company
it, it,
is
if
gonna
I
help.
think about what he, if I think about what Kevin was doing, though, he was, speaking, God rest his soul. I think he was talking from the standpoint of just the initial kind of, meeting and initiating the possibility of dating and potentially mating. I don't think he was talking about, what was going to endure in a relationship. Because what he was saying was, y'all can't even get, at this point, y'all ain't even got a man. So
No, no, no.
whether you're going to be
But I'm not.
loyal to him, y'all ain't even got one.
But that's why I'm not trying to present this as something adversarial to what he was presenting. What he did was some great stuff to get in the door. And that's all it is at the end of the day. That can get you in the door. If I see you as a fit, feminine, friendly woman, sure, you can get my attention for a while. I may not dump you for 2 weeks because you was fit, feminine, and friendly. Like, oh, I'm trying to see what this is. But a lot of folks now have taken it like those are the requirements for a relationship. They're not. They're just good pieces to add at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sure, it's good
But
to get you in the room.
well, no, no. You say good pieces. I disagree. I think a fit woman says a lot about her personal discipline and focus and her concern about herself and her health. Friendly definitely says a lot about the type of person she is in general, probably her general disposition and the aura that she carries with her. And feminine suggests that she's supple to the presence of a man and the purpose of a man and the leadership of men. So those are important qualities. They're not ancillary qualities. They're not
I'm not.
preliminary
I'm not
qualities.
saying
They
that.
say
I'm
something
not.
about a feminine woman says whether a feminine woman is much more likely, for example, to be loyal to a man. Much more likely in general, if she
No,
is
I'm not.
genuinely feminine.
I'm definitely not putting the qualities down or like I said, trying to be adversarial. I'm saying when you look at women, you look at men, we start looking at marriage, and when it's that serious, being fit, feminine, and friendly just ain't enough. And that's just what it is. I'm not saying there are bad things to come through the door with. This is not me trying to
And
go
I'm
against what
saying
he said.
you're not going to even. I'm saying you're not going to even get to your qualities if she's not those things.
Yeah.
You're not going to even
And
get to her being loyal because it's not possible for an unfeminine woman to be loyal to a man. I think it's impossible. So I guess my argument is they all go together. They're not really separate this or that. They all, if she is fit, that means she eats right, she exercises, she values her physical and hopefully mental and emotional disposition. Those are going to be vitally important in terms of whether or not she's going to be supportive, whether or not she's going to be loyal. Because if she's not those things, she's probably distracted. If she's distracted, she's less likely to be loyal. So
well,
they all
like
go
I said,
together.
I
That's
mean,
the
they
point I'm
get you
making.
in the door for sure. They're gonna get you in the door for sure. I'm not. That's what I'm
Well,
saying. I'm
I'm
not trying to
saying,
present it
but
like
I mean, you saying they get you in the door. I'm saying it's not just get you in the door. I'm saying they are vitally important because they actually provide evidence of the things that you describe. That's the point I'm making. I'm not
yeah,
saying they're just window dressing. They're evidence of the possibility of her being loyal. They're evidence of the possibility of her being supportive. They're evidence of the possibility of her being true to you. They're not necessarily proof of it, but they're evidence of the greater likelihood and the probability that those more important qualities exist. That's the point I'm making.
no. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. That's why I said to me is not like I'm trying to down what he said or anything like. And I don't even want to come off that way to the audience because they are important qualities at the end of the day. I see you, Chef, messing with me now. So yeah, I don't want nobody to think that I'm saying don't be fit, feminine, and friendly because I am not telling you that. I'm not telling you that. I just did a lot of research and I figured out men do want this loyalty, this good character, good company, and I am gonna say being fit, feminine, and friendly ain't gonna be enough without those things. So they are very important things. Women should have them at the end of the day. Because how you gonna get into a relationship with a man when a man look at you and say, "Well, you too fat to talk to"? Well, you ain't got the fit part. Because a woman's beauty is basically like a man's ability to earn money. A lot of people don't think about it that way, but they are very. It's pretty much close to the exact same thing. A woman's beauty is like a man's ability to earn money. You either got it or you don't. It's that simple at the end of the day, and it's very important to the person that's going to be dealing with it. So I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be those things at all. Okay. Now, Shark Sims has come up, so I got to get him the mic. Shark, you got it, my brother.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, brother.
And happy Tuesday at the same time. I definitely, I was listening in. With Uru, I totally agree with what Uru was saying because he's basically, in layman's terms, he's basically saying all those three things are indicators that those characteristics are within the person. A lot of times when we see what's going on, we see these dysfunctional people telling us, "Well, I got a car, I got a crib, I got my own car, I got my own house, and I got a job." But she's not fit, feminine, and friendly. So how far is that going to get you? Because, like you said, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to live off of drive your car back and forth to work. I'm not trying to live off of you and mooch in your house and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to spend all your money. So the fit, feminine, and friendly part is where it all starts. And basically, like those are the green flags that'll make a man say, okay, let me go talk to her. Because if she's feminine, she's not in everybody's face. You know what I mean? She'll probably just be in the cut chilling, and then you gotta approach her and say hi. And if she's friendly, she'll say hi back, and y'all could have a conversation. And if she's fit, That's the only reason why you seen it in the first place. So I definitely understand that is one of the biggest dysfunctions is the females just aren't built. They they think just totally opposite of what we try to convey to them that a man wants. So they kind of think like a man, like, well, I can earn money, so I can earn money. I'm handsome and I'm got a car, so that would be a green. Those would be green flags for a woman, but those aren't green flags for a man. And I'll close. That's my
And
2 minutes.
all right, well, I'm gonna say I think they doing exactly what they're doing deliberately because they do try to manipulate the environment. So why does a woman start with stuff that you don't want? Because she has no plans on giving it to you anyway. Now, we just asked her, would she be willing to take care of a guy if in 2 to 5 years that he would never go to work again? And she said no. See, something black men have to just accept women are not willing to take care of you. So therefore, we don't want the same things. And any woman talking about where it's going to be the same either way, this is a defective woman. She doesn't even understand her job is different than mine. I got to make sure bills are paid because I'm a man. Nobody cares whether she pays bills or not. No one cares. That's just a reality that men got to face. It's a lot of men that have made a lot of poor decisions because they depended on a woman's income. I'm going to buy this house based on her income. I'm going to get this apartment based on her income. Well, all I got to do is split it with her. And then men come to the realization she ain't splitting squat. And you the man. Why are you looking for me to do this anyway? Now you believed in this stuff about we all equals. Now you done got yourself in this equal situation, all for her to tell you she ain't got it.
Yeah.
Well, baby, you was working, but I spent it though. But baby, we got to pay bill. Well, you the man. Okay, cool. All that's it's fun and games till the bill come in.
Now
Okay.
here's the ill part about it. You know how like we'll sit around and we always tell a man, you never lead with your money because when you lead with your money, you get the wrong people in your circle, or you attract the wrong type of female, which be a gold digger or some female that's just trying to use you. I see when they lead with, oh, I got my own house, I got my own car, and I pay my own bills. They get those dysfunctional men, and then they look at us all as dysfunctional, and it's like, no, you literally put the wrong things out there, and that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract the guy who ain't trying to do nothing for himself because and he's going to look at you because you're doing everything for yourself, and now we all get blamed for men ain't doing what they're supposed to do. But if you was fit, feminine, and friendly, you would find men that are doing what they're supposed to do. But you presenting yourself like you Black Uru, you know what I mean? You got a job, you got a house, and you're doing and that's where you get Pookies and Ray Rays or whatever we call them these days, or Glocktaviuses and et cetera, et cetera.
I would say Pookie is just fine. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna reiterate: women are just being slick because they're just telling you about something that's not up to offer. You're telling me about the stuff I cannot have. Well, I got my own house. You ain't gonna give it to me no way, so who cares? I got my own job. You ain't trying to share no money with me. Who cares? I got my own car. You ain't trying to let me drive. Who cares? When men get serious about stuff, you will understand this is their version of offering nothing. It just don't sound like nothing because of how they present it. And I'm gonna keep telling y'all, pay attention to information, not presentation. Presentation is cool. It can only go so far. You can present to me that you matter because you have a house, a car, and a job. But information is you're not gonna share this stuff. I can't even tell y'all how many men I've told flat out, bro, she not putting in. You finna go get an apartment with her? Can you afford it by yourself? No, but we splitting it. Bro, y'all gonna get put out. She is not gonna pay that bill. How many times I've told that to men who done went in with some woman and what happens? She ends up not paying. Now I throw some credit out there. Some of them, they actually wait a few months before they get into not paying. You might get the first month or two rent out of them. You might get the deposit out of them, but then some of them, right at the deposit, they ain't got the money. Y'all playing this out. Y'all going to get a place together. She ain't gonna have her half, and that's just the way it go. So stop playing with yourself as young men and stop acting like she got it. She don't. It's that serious. If she got it, go marry her. See, the women turn her money over, and I'm saying this, but I do think if she's turning money over to you, now this is somebody you can consider marrying because she is actually living and showing she's on some type of team effort with you. But women who talking about they got it, and then when it's time to pay, they ain't got it, bro. This is who she is. She's showing you her character. It's up to you to listen to her. She's telling you exactly who she is. Are you going to listen to her? But Santana has come up, so let me go ahead and give Santana the mic. What's good, Santana? How you doing, brother?
How y'all doing? Good afternoon to the panel. Uh, me personally, I think a woman's value is determined with time. I don't think it's one of them things where you can determine if she's valuable, uh, up front, or sometimes it takes time. I ain't even gonna lie. It's really one of them things where I think a woman is a part of a man's growth in a way. That's why I think God sends a woman in your life as a favor, because once you look at the type of person that you used to be, you gonna realize how much she helped you and you didn't even realize it. So I think having a woman, it again, I just think it takes time for her to display her value. I'm not even sure if giving you money is determining how valuable she is to you. I don't think you're gonna determine how valuable she is until like maybe she do something behind your back, or you know what I'm saying, like I'm not sure what it is, but if she do something behind your back to display her loyalty. But that's really the only value I think a woman have. It ain't through money. It's not gonna be up front. We the ones got to show our value up front. Like, it got to be out there. It takes a little time for you to actually realize why she in your life. So, but I don't even think money top three. I don't even think money top three. If she giving you money, that don't mean nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna say this because we didn't say it's just about money. That's an example, but I'm gonna tell you what, bro. A woman's way quicker to give you the box than she is to give you some money. The fact that she'll turn over money she earned, not money she got from some other nigga, y'all. Money she earned says something about her character.
Well, Roger,
Because that's the
if she got it from some other nigga, she might have earned it though.
You know? Yeah.
you know what?
He's right, you know?
If she got it from some if she got it from some other nigga, it still shows something about her character.
Hey, man, y'all hit the like button. We got two wild gynerocrats on the show today. You know, this is gonna be a great show. It's gonna be a great
Say
show.
two for the price of one. But I'm gonna give a slight extension because we at the 3 hour mark, But I think it was some very good stuff said, so I'm gonna give a slight extension. Santana, cool. He ain't been around long enough for me to give y'all no Santana extension. He ain't got it like that yet. He'll get there if he keep coming, but he ain't got it like that yet. But he cool people, y'all, because he go to Bible class with us on a few occasions. He done go on the Bible class with us, so he good people though. Real talk, he good people.
Well,
Now
Santana said something interesting. That I mean, if you're not supposed to be able to discern the value of a woman going into a relationship or fairly early in a relationship with her, then why does it even make sense to marry a woman? Why does it make sense to marry a woman on the prospects of some possibility of benefit years hence? How does that make sense?
It makes sense. You invest everything you got, and then maybe they will give you something in return. Like 1% or whatever you
Exactly.
invested.
I mean, how does that make sense, Santana? I'm interested in your opinion of that.
That's a robbery.
Uh, how can I put it?
What?
I think it really has something to do with like male loneliness.
No
I
bueno.
think if you look up right now, it's I think black men lead in self deletions. If I last time I looked at it, that's what I seen, and I think partially that got something to do with the fact that we're not married, or even we're so separated from black women right now that's causing a lot of chaos. I think what they give us is something so internal, that really I can't really explain like that, but I think it's a more deeper connection. It's something so deep that women give us that when we don't get it, we likely to crash out, or you know what I'm saying? We likely to probably crash out without it. I think it's deeper than sex. I think it's a little deep. I can't really go
In,
into it like that.
in other words, the black woman is bored.
Facts.
You can't make this shit up. You can't
Nah,
make
but
this shit
real
up.
Santana, I don't know if there's statistics on this like that, but I would bet $50 that most of those men, those black men that are deleting themselves, they are married men, or those are men that's in some kind of relationship with the female, et cetera, et cetera. The majority of those people, out of 75%, I would probably, I'll bet my left pinky toe on that
Well,
those men are in
well,
relationships and they
you
delete
would be
themselves.
wrong. You would be wrong because statistically, we're not even. It's less married men, black men in the world than it is married black men. So to even think that it's more black men that's deleting themselves from marriage that's not
With all due
actually not true.
respect, let's stop misquoting stats, please. Because I mean, first of all, a fairly high number and rate of men delete themselves after the women have left them. So even if I buy this notion of this sort of metaphysical dependence that men have for women that you're making, if I buy that argument, Santana, then well, if the woman's going to leave you, she's effectively setting you up for you to kill yourself. So then, what is the real value of being with her?
Yeah, I'm not really
What's the
sure where
value
you.
of being
Oh,
with
first off,
the divorce rates? The divorce rates are materially higher. Black women divorce quicker than everybody else. Everybody else. So now, if I'm going to be dependent on her psychologically or psychically or spiritually, and then she's going to dump me at a higher rate than any other woman will, then how is she helping me?
It's helping you to destroy yourself.
uh,
How is she helping me, Santana?
again, I think it's a deeper thing. I think it's more spiritual what they give us. But you saying that I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. You saying that when they
I'm saying
leave,
if I
we
accept your argument, I'm saying if I accept your argument that we are spiritually dependent on them, but yet they're much more likely to leave and abandon us, then what is the argument for me to get with her when I'm going to become bonded to her and then she's going to abandon me? These are the
well,
arguments that you're making.
I mean, I understand. I'm not trying to say it's a lot that goes into a woman leaving. So I'm not going to entertain that argument because it's like it's a bunch of different reasons of why they leave. it ain't just we walking in, we just so innocent, we ain't did nothing wrong, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's always something that plays into that for a black woman leaving us. But yeah, that doesn't matter. I think we still depend on them spiritually, emotionally, and without them, we we likely to crash out. I mean, like I just said, the self deletions is real. You can go look the stats up. We leading in that. And we ain't even a bigger portion of America, and we leading in that stat. So, and I think that got a lot to do with the fact that we so separated from black women.
Nah, that's what I was saying. I beg to differ, but
well, I mean, you said that you said that you think it's more married men deleting themselves from that, and I don't even. That can't be true because
no, it
again,
can be.
statistically, we're not even married at a high rate. So how could it be
But
more married men deleting themselves?
those two numbers don't have nothing to do with what I'm saying. All right, so if you got say like you got 2 million married black men, right? And out of them 2 million married black men, I bet you most of those deletion statistics come from that 2 million black men. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying married or involved with a black woman, et cetera, et cetera. So you just don't have to be married. You could be in a relationship, but I don't think there's statistics that show how many black men have girlfriends. You understand what I'm saying?
But it is a stat out there that says that men live longer with wives and shit like that. I forgot what stat it was, but I
Now,
know.
black men live less longer with wives.
Yeah,
Everybody else lives longer with wives.
Yeah, so that means we outliving single men.
Wait, Kev, say that for
No.
him. Kev, say that for him one more time, please.
Black. Okay, across all demographics, most men live longer because they're married.
Right. That was my
Black
point.
men's lives are shortened statistically when they're married.
Is it?
It's inverse for us.
Is the married man outliving? Is the married black man outliving the single black man?
No, the single black men are living longer than the married black men. It's reversed for every other demographic.
I'll go look. I'll go look that stat up because I
Look it up.
could have sworn it was the other way.
That's a good idea, Santana.
Yeah, you got Google. Just look it up right now while you're on the panel with us, please.
I got you.
Yeah, there's I mean, I haven't personally looked that one. I don't know if I personally looked that one up or not. It does make sense because it's consistent with what we see going on in the world. And it's consistent with, if a black man is married, he's probably married to a black woman. Would a black woman put more stress on him and make him die earlier? All that's very consistent. Very consistent.
How do you promote marriage for a longevity standpoint when the divorce rates are like 65-70% and black women are initiating 70 to 80% of those divorces? What's the value of an institution that we cannot even maintain? And it's the decision of the woman that is the primary criteria in maintaining the institution. You're trying to
And
sell
also,
something that the vast majority of us either will not get or will not be able to keep.
also black women,
Yeah, and you know what?
most
I'm
black
gonna have to say
marriages
this.
only last 5 years.
But,
The average,
and I'm gonna say
length
this.
of marriage.
I've never seen the problem with marriage itself. I've always seen the problem as the people in the marriage. And I'm gonna say, based on information, seems to be somewhat consistent. When one of the mates, if a black man is in a marriage, if he marries a black woman, unfortunately, it's just a little bit more problematic if you start looking at the statistics. And my thing is, they are voluntarily problematic. Okay, that's why I think we need to really start looking at black women as defective women. As women, they're acting a way that they just should not act. And if we start to recognize the fact that they're truly defective, maybe we start making better moves, because you don't treat defective equipment the same way you treat great equipment. You just don't do them the same. You know, if it's defective,
And
you
if
don't
Black
use this on the job.
American women are or were or aren't so valuable as potential mates, why aren't all these other either non-ADOS black men or non-black men coming to swoop them up, to swoop up these wonderful wives and mothers?
That's
If
because
they
they
if
don't
they
understand.
do, why? So of all these years and all these observations and sociological studies, nobody can figure out just how magically wonderful and special the Black American woman is. It's like something that's hidden in plain sight.
I think you could say that for a lot of different races of women. The only people that's gonna really know they women is the men that they are around, or the men are in their racial group.
Well,
Could you
hold on.
say that?
You can't say that for other
Could you
women.
say that? Could you say that for yourself, Santana?
Yes, yeah, I will. Unless you really
Oh,
go
you
go out
can.
there digging outside your race for other women, the majority of women you're gonna know
So
mentally
you
like
could
that is
say,
your
so
own women.
you yourself, you could find that wonderful black woman for yourself. That's what you're saying.
I think now that I've got older and learned certain things, I think if black men really tried to go through black women, you'll probably find one good black woman. I ain't gonna lie.
You
How
don't see
many?
the irony of what you don't see the irony of what you're saying, Santana.
What's the irony?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
My bad.
I got the answer for that poem.
Captain
Anybody got time for
Obvious
that?
go missing again. The Captain Obvious go missing again. Because you know, Black Rule, I'm of course I'm with you 100% because I know where you're going. I'm just trying to remember, was it an on air thing or was it an off air thing? I'm trying to remember too.
Yeah, just
But I understand
let's
exactly.
stay safe. Let's stay safe.
Yeah,
Let's stay
yeah.
safe.
I totally
I
get
mean,
what
I ain't said nothing. I just said,
okay.
He ain't
I
say nothing.
mean,
I'm
I
Black
just
Uru
think it's
lawyer
very,
today.
I think it's
He ain't
ironic,
my client ain't say nothing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
and
shout out to Mr. Jones. He done found the channel again. So shout out to you, brother. I'm glad to see you in the audience. Glad to see you in the audience. I always look for you. I always
We
look for
gonna
you.
So
Santana, we gonna fight. We gonna fight in Bible study. I can promise you that.
So Santana's basically saying if you go to a shoe outlet and you only find one shoe, not a pair of shoes, you only find one shoe in that outlet that's wearable, that
You
outlet
should wear that.
is sufficient and it should stay open.
How many shoes
it's
you
got
going
some
there
good
looking
shoes.
for?
I'm trying to get two at least. A pair of
At least
shoes. You
two.
said you can't even
Oh, you
find a
talking
pair.
about? Oh, okay, you talking about one shoe. You ain't talking about one pair.
Yeah, I said you can only
No, you
find
said
one
one
shoe.
shoe.
You
No,
see how he caught
my
the
point is if
context
you
of that real quick.
Real
my point.
fast.
No, I understood what you were
Interesting.
saying, but
And,
it's
and even
still
if I could
how
find
many are we actually
one
looking
good
for?
pair, even if I could find one good pair of shoes in that outlet, if there are thousands of other shitty shoes in that outlet, I'm not visiting that outlet very often for shoes.
And
Yeah,
Uru,
I
the
think that
outlet
was
is
my last time.
and eventually the outlet is gonna close because they're not making no money. They ain't selling no shoes.
Yeah, yeah. If I come to your store and you got, let's say, 150 pair of shoes, and I guess that's probably a regular store. Now we talking about an outlet. You supposed to have way more than just what a regular store have. If I went into a regular store, 150 shoes in there, only one pair worth buying, I ain't never coming back to that store again.
But you
Man.
only need one pair of shoes.
Yeah, but they didn't
Hey,
have
Okay,
one
well,
pair. They have one
what
good
if
shoe.
now? What if the one pair of shoes that's good is in the wrong color?
Now
These
you
shoes would
bringing up
work with
something
my suit.
else.
Hold on. These shoes will work with my suit, but they white. I need black shoes. Now what? You think I'm coming back to this store tomorrow to see if they got some black? No, I ain't never coming to this store ever again.
Yeah, this probably a
Say it
bad.
again.
It's probably a
Say it
bad
again.
comparison.
Say it again, guys.
Yeah,
Ain't
yeah.
nobody got time for
It's
that.
150. Yeah, it's 150 shoes. You got one decent pair here. I ain't coming back to the store.
But if I was
That's
only
over
coming
with.
up, hold on, wait. But if I was only coming up in there looking for a pair of shoes, and I found them pair of shoes, I found what I was looking for.
And I'm still never coming back to that store. I would
You
have
ain't
no
supposed to come back.
recommendation for any. No, hold on. I would recommend no one to go to the store. Joe, I went to this store. It was 150 shoes in here. I got lucky. I got the last decent pair. Y'all shouldn't shop there. It's a waste of your time to drive to that location. That's what you're gonna be telling people. Don't go there. I've been there. All their shoes are crappy. I swear I got the last good pair.
Yep. But back
Who
in the
go-
day when they first opened the store, they had a lot of shoes, but they just lost quality. They ain't the shipments they getting in now just ain't worth going in no more. You could dig that, right, Santana?
I just don't like the shoes
and
comparison.
the shoes they got in there. A lot of motherfuckers been wearing them shoes. A lot of motherfuckers been wearing them shoes.
Look, man,
Motherfuckers
my daddy got a pair of shoes from
motherfuckers
there.
have had bare feet. Negroes have had bare feet running all up in all those shoes.
No, they don't took the shoes, went out into the neighborhood to test drive them, let their homeboys test drive them. In some cases, all in the same day, and then brought the shoes back and say, "No, I don't want them," and put them right back on the shelf.
Running
The
all
shoe stink.
outside, running in the rain, running in the snow, in the sleet,
The shoe
and then they
stink.
gonna put it back
They're
on the shelf.
expensive.
Well, you
Goddamn.
get a
Ooh.
week free trial. You get a free trial for a week and just bring them back if you don't like them. You know how it go. Because my daddy bought some shoes from that store years ago. My daddy bought some shoes there. He told me it was a great store. I listened to my daddy. I went to the store. Daddy, I got the last pair of good shoes in that whole joint. It's 149 other shoes, and they all garbage. Real talk. Well, send your brother to the store. My daddy ain't finna say that. If I say I went to the same store you went to, it was 150 shoes. I got the last decent pair. The rest of them was trash. He ain't gonna say, "Well, send your brother to the store." That's not what he gonna say. Why? Because he love his son. My brother is his son. He not sending his son back to that store. Yeah, I got something from there years and years ago. 40 years, I got me a good pair of shoes out there. It was plenty of good shoes then. Daddy, stuff done changed. Stuff done changed. He not sending his son to that store.
But you know who gonna go to that store, Roger?
Santana.
Exactly.
Y'all know what? I'm finna close this out, y'all. Look, man, the thing is, they defective. If we don't start paying attention to the fact that they're defective and simply pointing it out, because you got a lot of women begging, whether it's dry begging or overt begging for men to do stuff that their husbands should be doing for them, which is just a sign that she's defective. If we're not going to deal with that reality, we can't expect the rest of the world to deal with it either. Okay? You can do the world a favor by learning to treat defective women as they're defective. And see, this is the thing, y'all. Some people say, "Well, you just saying don't touch black women." No, you can pick up a tool that's defective, but you do go through a process to get it fixed. Just because something is defective don't mean it has no value at all, but it ain't got the same value. And if you're unwilling to fix it, why would you take it? And that's real talk. So that's up to every man. I'm not gonna tell you who to mess with, who not to mess with. I'm just gonna say be realistic about what you're doing, period. Because if you're gonna take on something that's defective and you're unwilling to deal with what you have to give up because it's defective, if you're unwilling to fix it or put it in a position where it can be fixed, why would you take it at all? If I want to fix it, I just don't buy it. That's real talk, y'all. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I think it's been a great show. It's been fun. I just can't wait to get to Bible class. You know, I need the word in my life. So I want to see what's going to pop off in Bible class. So y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Long live Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.